7 o'clock. It is game time.
Okay.
Check, check.
What's the interview going to be about? Can you turn me up a little bit in my headphones?
Yeah. Is this you?
Yeah, that's better. What are we talking to Taryn about?
Sailor season, Sunset League.
Okay.
Just like a couple questions. Bienvenidos, aloha, and welcome in to TarTV. Alex Crawford, Howard Kroom with you live from Davidson Field, the 91st meeting between the Huntington Beach Oilers and your Newport Harbor Sailors. Also coincides with the 91st anniversary of Newport Harbor High School. It's homecoming. We got a good crowd on hand, Howard, and more importantly, we've got a great game brewing in front of us between the Sailors and the Oilers.
Well, it's going to be a good game on the field, and it's even more exciting because of the implications and what's at stake here. We know Coach Brown told us last week if the Oilers win this game, they punch their ticket to the playoffs. But we also know Newport Harbor, they feel like they can win this game, roll into Battle of the Bay next week, get their third win in league, and also punch their ticket to the playoffs. So this is a must-win game for both teams.
It's been a year for the Sailors, not what they wanted, not what they expected, coming in just 2-5 on the season, but they're fresh off a 49-0 win over Fountain Valley. Huntington Beach, they come in today 4-3, and they had their biggest loss of the season last week, 35-8, right here at Davidson Field to Corona Del Mar. So Newport Harbor, with A.J. Goutron-Moore getting the start at quarterback again this week, they think they have a spark. They think they found something that works. And Howard, they're trying to win their second in a row for the first time this season and go into Battle of the Bay with a ton of momentum.
Well, they got a tough task here. Huntington Beach is a team with a lot of talent on offense. They've got a stacked defense, particularly their front seven, so it's a tough task for the Sailors tonight.
Thank you to everybody tuned in on TarTV. Alex Crawford, former Oregon State tight end, Howard Kroom with you here. The kick is off, and John Richardson boots it in the end zone for a touchback. Sailors will start off the game on defense, and we'll get to see our first look at this Huntington Beach offense led by senior quarterback A.J. Perez, 6'4", 205 pounds. Howard, before the season, we talked about MVP candidates, and I said A.J. Perez on our show Sunset Rewind was my dark horse candidate. He hasn't had as extraordinary of a season as we expected, but he's overdue for a big performance. It could happen tonight.
Hasn't had an extraordinary season, but in flashes, he has looked extraordinary. We've seen him put up 4 and 5 touchdowns in a game. I wonder what A.J. Perez we're going to get tonight, and that's going to be determined by the Sailors' defense.
Perez in at quarterback, and it's another senior, E.J. Riedrich, in the backfield with
That's
him.
A false start.
They hand it off to Riedrich, and he's got nowhere to go. Coming up in run coverage, Johnny Checks from the corner position makes his first tackle of the night. Sailors defense picks up right where they left off last week against Fountain Valley.
Well, that's what you want to do. Stifle the run game, get in the backfield early, put pressure on this run game.
Oh, and that's a false start for sure. Tyler Moses was off to the races on the far side of the field. And that's going to back them up 5 yards. Sailors defense, Howard, talked about the spark that they found, or maybe that A.J. Goutron-Moore provided at the quarterback position last week. But the defense really, I know it was against Fountain Valley, but the defense really got things going. Multiple turnovers forced, touchdown scored by Camden Noon on a scoop and score. The defense looked like nothing we'd seen this season.
Well, that's what you want to see when you're playing an opponent like Fountain Valley. And sloppy here.
Super sloppy.
By both teams in the first 2 downs. On first down, there was a false start that didn't get called on Huntington Beach. Second down, there's a false start by Huntington Beach. And then the defense struggles to get their 12th man off the field, so Coach Lofthouse has to burn an early timeout with less than a minute into the first quarter. Not ideal for the Sailors.
Well, Howard, we knew going into this game, talking to Huntington Beach head coach Brett Brown, that penalties, sloppy play had been a problem for the team. And we knew from watching Newport Harbor shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly against Trabuco Hills and Capo Valley that penalties and sloppy play were an issue for the Sailors. And those 2 problems are manifesting themselves right here in the first 40 seconds of play.
Well, we've seen a slow start all season long for the Sailors. This is just one little mental error on defense, so it doesn't have to carry on, but just a herky-jerky first couple of plays for both teams.
Second down and 14 for Huntington Beach now after the timeout by the Sailors. Newport still has 2 remaining. Jacob Carlone, pressure on the edge. Perez airs it out and overthrows Tyler Moses by a hair, but Moses, he had a step on Josiah Lamarque. Incomplete. Third down and 14 upcoming for the Oilers.
Well, tricky little route on second and 14. Looked like an out and up of some kind by Tyler Moses. He did have a step on the cornerback. Luckily, the quarterback was off with the throw. Now the DBs have seen that route. They won't get tricked by it in the future.
Well, we're seeing some substitutions on defense, some new faces that we saw for the first time last week. Tanner Muir checking into the game along with McKay Ketchum at the defensive position. Big third down. Just 44 seconds into this game for A.J. Perez and this Huntington Beach Oilers offense. Perez, time in the pocket. That's caught by Hideo Ray for a first down and then some. Slippery, Mr. Reliable, Hideo Ray picks up 20 yards on the pitch and catch. First down, Oilers.
I talked a lot about Hideo Ray last season, that he might be my favorite player in Sunset League. And looks like there's a flag down on the play.
Yeah, that's going to be a penalty against the Oilers, so that's going to negate all those yards picked up by Hideo Ray, right as we're singing his praises, and force the Oilers deep back into their own territory. Jacob Jerzik and Nate Peters checking into the game on the defensive line for Newport Harbor.
Well, it's frustrating if you're the Oilers because you work yourself out of that 3rd and 14 hole, give yourself a chance to convert, and now you're backed up all the way, huddling in your own end zone.
Third down and a mile. HB backed up all the way to the ENC.
I've been calling for Nate Peters on the D-line for the Sailors, so I'm glad to see this. You know he's a guy that gets pressure.
Garrett Emerson in the game as well, back from that collarbone injury last week. Third down and a mile. Perez has got to roll out. Jerzik in pursuit. Perez going to try to use his legs. He darts past Carlone and then steps out of bounds at the original line of scrimmage marker. It'll bring up 4th down and 10, and certainly a punting situation for Huntington Beach.
Perez is a dangerous guy. In our preview show, we talked about keys to the game, and one of the things I said is you jam up the holes, you get to A.J. Perez, put some pressure on him, but you got to be careful. He'll scramble on you and pick up 20 or 30 yards, so he can beat you with his arms and his legs.
Josiah Lamarque stands back at the 50-yard line. Dangerous return man for the Sailors. So we have our first punt of the game. The Sailors bring the house. The punt is blocked. It's on the ground. Carlone can't get it, and finally he falls on it. How about that? Johnny Checks running off the field, fired up. The Sailors bring the house. It pays off. 1st and 10, Newport Harbor. Deep in Huntington Beach territory.
Couldn't ask for a better start now. This is the field position Harbor dreamed about. Got to convert on this, off this turnover, but we talk about how do you win a big game? If you're an underdog, how do you pull it out? You got to get a big special teams play, a touchdown on defense, something like that. And Harbor's already off to the right start.
Johnny Checks got a finger on it. And Carlone recovered it. Carlone, I think, tried to pick it up with one hand and walk into the end zone. He's going to want that one back, but regardless, it's 1st and goal for the Sailors. Peyton Irving in the backfield. A.J. Goutron-Moore in the pistol for Newport Harbor. It's a handoff to Irving. It's wrapped up by Tyler Moses right around the hips. Picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
The Sailor offensive linemen do a good job picking up the blitz, allowed Peyton Irving to run right past the linebackers and pick up a few yards instead of getting a tackle for a loss.
Good crowd on hand here tonight. Homecoming. I know Howard against Jay Sarah. It was a rainy Friday afternoon, and Davidson wasn't quite at capacity. Now the home side really filling up here tonight. 2nd down and goal from the 6. Guttron Moore, pass, pressured, throws, and it's caught by Irving, threading the needle and sprinting into the end zone. Touchdown, Sailors.
A.J. Guttron Moore coming off to the sideline, fired up. And I know I'm not the only one whose heart stopped for a second. It looked like it could have been a pick 6 or a touchdown. But Guttron Moore put enough mustard on it that it got to the receiver. Perfect timing, perfect execution. And like I said, Harbor couldn't ask for a better start than this.
Peyton Irving hauls it in, 6 yards out. Extra point by John Richardson is up and good. It took 2 minutes and 12 seconds. The Sailors got a stop, a blocked punt, and now a touchdown. Just what the doctor ordered for Newport Harbor, picking up right where they left off against Fountain Valley. That's now 56 straight points scored by the Sailors while shutting out the opponent. We haven't seen a stretch like this from Newport Harbor, I mean, in a few years, Howard. This is really a turning point right now if they can keep this up in the season.
Well, that's why those Fountain Valley games are so important. We always compare it to basketball when sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the hole, and that opens everything up for you. Well, that's kind of how it felt against Fountain Valley for the Sailors. They got to see their offense work. They got to feel their defense be dominant. Now you can carry over some of that success, some of that momentum into your next game, and that's what we're seeing out here against the Oilers.
And, of course, all touchdowns are brought to you by Original Pizza. Brand new location on Irvine Avenue at the Newport Beach Golf Course. Awesome sports, TVs everywhere, and delicious pizza. The owners are Newport Harbor alumni, played here during the Giddings years. And it's the official after party tonight and tomorrow for the Newport Harbor Alumni Association homecoming weekend. So Original Pizza is going to be popping this weekend.
Well, I think some people started the pregame at Original Pizza because I'm seeing fans pouring in by the dozens. They're not stopping. It's kind of like a USC crowd. We'll let the first quarter get underway, finish up our tailgate, and come on in. So Sailor Faithful representing well.
Kickoff goes out of bounds. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 35 for Huntington Beach. Good field position for the Oilers after they went backwards on their previous drive. And last week, Howard, against Corona Del Mar in the second quarter, the Sea Kings scored 28 points in that quarter. Multiple times, HB got the ball in great field position, and they lost yards. They ended up with negative yards on multiple drives. We talked to Corona Del Mar head coach Dan O'Shea, and he credited his D-line controlling the line of scrimmage with that performance last week. Let's see if the Sailors can replicate that tonight. 1st down and 10 Oilers. Perez, pass near side, caught, and Carlone with a grown man tackle. Carson Jones on the reception for HB. You see the strength of Carlone on display there.
Yeah, versatile offense by the Oilers. They're going fast, getting up to the line of scrimmage, ready to go already.
2nd down and 7.
Harbor showing big pressure.
A flag comes in.
Can't be a delay of game.
I think it's a sideline warning. Coach Arredondo's fired up. I think he took a step or two onto the field to scream something at his defense.
Coach Lofthouse yelling at his guys. Doesn't want anything small, anything stupid to mess up the Sailors' opportunity.
Well, Coach Steele, I know he's been gone for a lot of games this season with his sons playing college football at Arizona State and Utah State. He's back on the sideline tonight, and you know he brings a little bit of extra fire and passion to that Newport Harbor sideline. 2nd down, passes, oh! No one's going to catch that.
That was Chenier.
Oh, Andrew Chenier. Sat out the first couple games of the season, and I think he came back just to lay that hit.
Hideo Ray usually catches everything in his radius, but it's almost impossible to hang on when you got a guy coming downhill and just lining you up and unloading.
Incompletion forces 3rd down and 7. HB struggled to pick up yards so far early in this game. 8:49 to play in the first. Big 3rd down, and flags come in.
It's got to be a false start because I don't think Harbor was in the neutral zone. Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Man, I know it's very early in the game, less than 4 minutes in, but we've heard a lot of whistles.
We have. That's that new look from Harbor with 2 down linemen, 3 or 4 linebackers up at the line of scrimmage, showing blitz and backing out. And just mistimed the pressure by the Sailors.
Seeing all the usual suspects of the Tar football faithful here on hand. Parents whose kids already graduated coming back out on homecoming to support the team. The Tar pit's packed. 3rd down and 2 after the penalty. Huntington Beach with the football. It's going to be a handoff to Riedrich. He's breaking tackles, but he's got nowhere to go. He runs into a gray wall, and Tarball stones him in the line of scrimmage.
Well, Robbie Kroll is going to get an assist on that play. He's not going to get a solo tackle, but he's the one that made the play. Riedrich got his pads low. Robbie Kroll got his pads even lower and didn't allow any push. That was a huge hit and stop by the Sailors, particularly Robbie Kroll.
Josiah Lamarque back to return the punt. He didn't get a chance to last time. Johnny Checks came up, got a mitt on it, blocked it. Carlone recovered, and the Sailors punched it in from 6 yards out. Sailors bring the house again. Moses barely gets the punt off, and it falls right at the 35-yard line. Pretty good field position for the Sailor offense that scored 56 unanswered points over the last 5 quarters of football. Nick Kim was out with a concussion last week, back healthy. And it was a QB competition between the seniors, A.J. Guttron-Moore and Kim this week. Coaches electing to give Guttron-Moore the start, but Kim is available to go if necessary.
Curious to see if Coach Lofthouse gives Kim some reps. Does he stay with Guttron-Moore? I guess the play on the field will dictate that.
7:57 to go in the first. Sailors back on offense, leading 7-0. Henjum in motion. It's a handoff to Irving. And the dancing feet of Peyton Irving pick up 3 or 4 yards on the first down run.
It's hard to replace Justin McCoy, but I've really grown to like Peyton Irving. Well, we always talk about how hard he runs, but he does have great vision, great feet in the hole. He'll get you a hard 3 or 4.
Just a junior as well. E.J. Riedrich's down on the field, going to get 10-2 by the trainer, so we'll have an injury timeout. We'll keep it right here. Like I said, Original Pizza 2, our touchdown sponsor this season. Let's give some love to our other amazing 12 Tar sponsors. CT Realty, Golden Com, Arbor Real Estate, Newport Lexus, Newport Advisory, and our 2 new sponsors this season, Balboa Boatyard and Sunset Rewind, hosted by yours truly and Mr. Howard Kroom. Holding it down at Sunset Rewind, giving you all the information you need to know about Sunset League football. Follow on social media at Sunset_Rewind.
And I'm hoping this is just a quick cramp by E.J. Riedrich. He's a big part of what Huntington Beach does on offense, on defense. An all-conference kind of guy, all-league captain.
Senior linebacker, running back, does it all. That would be a huge loss for the Oilers, and even more so, I'm an E.J. Riedrich fan. Got to talk to him this summer. He's really an important part of the team, and I hope he doesn't have to miss any time.
Looks like he's walking it off. Somebody get him some Pedialyte, get him a banana. Help loosen him up and get him ready, because HB is going to need him to win this game.
After that, 2nd down and 6, 4 yards from Peyton Irving on the first down run. It looked like we saw some motion from Caston Henjum there, Howard, that we hadn't seen so far this season.
Yep, we've seen him motion and go in front of the quarterback, but we haven't seen him go behind the formation like that.
Jack Soretta checks into the game at wide receiver. It's a quick pass out to Henjum. He gets a block from Soretta, and Henjum stays on his feet, spins around, and leaps forward like a bullfrog to fall 1 yard short of the first down marker.
Got a great block from his receiver. Cash had a good stiff arm in there, made some stuff happen for himself. That's 9 yards of offense in the first 2 plays, and that's just hard running.
Well, they gave him a first.
Okay, we'll call it 10 yards in the first 2 plays. Good job by Cash and Henjum just sticking with it.
It's homecoming here at Davidson Field. 91st anniversary of the high school, but even cooler, 91st time the Sailors and Oilers have played each other in football. 2 of the historic Orange County Coastal High Schools going at it 91 times. First down and 10. Hand off to Irving, and he's met immediately and pushed into the backfield. Looks like that was Dylan Weber, junior defensive tackle, on the stop. Met Irving and said, "You're not going anywhere, buddy."
And wonder if we see A.J. Gutron Moore open it up a little bit. We know he's a guy that likes to throw the deep ball. Looks like we got Hingham and Starnes on the same side of the field to put some pressure on these corners.
That's Duke Starnes and Cash and Hingham at the bottom of your screen. Josiah Lamarque and Zach Zamora at the top. Peyton Irving's in the backfield halfway through the first quarter. Gutron Moore tests the rocket launcher, and he overthrows Hingham, incomplete.
Well, that's the look he wanted. Press corner, safeties up. They're going to try to take a shot with Cash and Hingham every time they see that look.
People continuing to trickle in here, Howard. I mean, this home side has got to be almost at capacity.
Well, they were trying to finish up, close their tab out at Original Pizza and rush over. I mean, they're still pouring in by the dozens.
It's really a great weekend to be a Sailor. Homecoming festivities started tonight at the alumni tailgate. They go all the way into Sunday. Third down and 10 for Newport. That's Starnes in motion. Gutron Moore. It's a screen. Threads the needle to Irving. Great concentration by Peyton Irving to haul it in. He picks up 4 yards. They needed 10. And do you go for it? It looks like Noe Avalos in the punting unit are taking their place on the field.
Yeah, on the 49, still on your side of the field. Perfect opportunity to punt it away and pin your opponent deep if you can.
Quincy Hankins and Jordan Castro, 2 juniors, back deep to return for the Oilers. And sophomore Noe Avalos on to punt it away for Newport Harbor. Avalos gets a great punt off. Oh, what a beaut. Hankins grabs it on the run and signaled for a fair catch before he did so. So it'll be first down and 10, Huntington Beach. From their own 10-yard line, Noe Avalos. That was a really textbook beautiful punt right there, Howard.
And that's why you don't punt it away. Now you've got your opponent down on the 10-yard line. Defense has been solid. You force a punt here, you got it back on their side of the field. So let's see if the defense can get a sack, get a tackle for a loss, something to help out their offense.
Sailors defense shut out Fountain Valley last week. They pitched a shutout through the first 7 minutes here. 5:03 to play in the first. A.J. Perez, the senior, takes a snap and hands it off. C.J. Taylor's got nowhere to go. Connor Chenier led the charge. And the Sailors tonight, they're really gang tackling, Howard.
Fired up, defensive lines firing off the ball. Saw Papa George just swim somebody and get into the backfield, and that's the tackle for loss that you want. Put HB behind the sticks.
Second down and 11. That's C.J. Taylor in the backfield, replacing the injured E.J. Riederick. A.J. Perez airs it out deep, far side of the field, incomplete. Intended for Jordan Castro. And just like that, it's third down and 11.
Timing a little off on that throw. Third and 11, it's a hard down and distance for your playbook, for your offensive coordinator. And does Huntington Beach, do they run the ball and try to get 6 of it back?
HB came into Sunset League play 3-2. They lost their 2 games by a single possession. Last week's 35-8 loss to Corona Del Mar was their worst of the season. Perez pressured. It's a screen. He dumps it off. He threads the needle to Taylor, who's upended, hitting the kneecap short of the first down marker.
It's a good play by Huntington Beach. They haven't had a lot of success downfield, but their running backs have been solid for them tonight. But still not a 4-down situation.
Punting unit jogs back on the field for the Oilers. Third punt of the game. Third punt of the first quarter for Huntington Beach with 3:50 to play. Josiah Lamarque stands Back deep to return the punt.
That's the 3-and-out you were looking for.
Tyler Moses has it blocked again. It's in the air. Johnny checks, picks it up, dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Sailors.
And Huntington Beach is dejected. Sailors are going crazy.
Johnny checks has blocked 2 punts and now has himself a touchdown. The Sailors' biggest source of offense has been the junior defensive back on special teams. Wow.
And that's so frustrating. If you're the Oilers, if you're Coach Brown, you're just giving points away right now. In such an important game, that's you just can't have it.
Wow.
But ever since the Sailors got to that first punt, you know they're going to put pressure on the kicking game all night. They're going to be in the head of the punt team, kick team, and it's paying off for 14 points.
Johnny checks. 2 blocked punts in 1 quarter, and one of them resulting in a touchdown. I mean, you can't script a better performance on special teams by an individual player than that.
Well, what's unfortunate about it just sucks the wind right out of Huntington Beach's sails. You know, you see their players kind of standing around on the field, not feeling good about themselves because it just feels so ridiculous. How did we just give away these points? But nonetheless, they got to find a way to get their feet under them, get the offense clicking, and put these 2 plays behind them.
14-0, extra point by John Richardson is up and good. And coming into tonight's game, Howard, you looked at these 2 teams, despite the different records, HB 4-3, Newport Harbor 2-5. You looked at them as very evenly matched teams with similar trajectories this season. But the Sailors have come right out of the gate and looked like a top 3 team in league.
Well, they're going to have to keep it going, only the first quarter. And while it does feel terrible right now, if I'm the Huntington Beach coaching staff, I'm saying, hey, guys, we gave up 14 points on 2 plays. Not offense, not defense, 2 missed assignments on special teams. So, yes, it does feel a little bit overwhelming, but at the same time, it's only 2 plays.
HB right back out on offense. And now offensively and defensively, the Sailors have scored 9 straight touchdowns without allowing a point. A far cry from the 2-game stretch just a couple weeks ago where they gave up 94 points over 2 games and only scored 2 touchdowns themselves. First down and 10 for A.J. Perez in this Oilers offense. He finds Hideo Ray, who throws Kroll off of him, but Robbie's teammates are there to flatter the football, and Carlone comes up talking. Second down and about 8 for the Oilers.
We know this offense can get going, so credit to the Sailors defense for forcing 3 punts so far.
Yeah, we haven't even really got a chance to talk much about Hideo Ray. Tyler Moses hasn't had any touches offensively. Nate Tawanu'u will play some fullback for them. Perez pressured, rolling out. Now going to tuck it and run. He gets around Carlone. A lot of green grass for the senior quarterback. He trots out of bounds right in front of his bench at the 45-yard line.
That's one of the keys to the game for the Sailors and for the Oilers. When A.J. Perez feels that pressure, he can take off on you. And he turns the corner, he runs like a receiver. He's dangerous.
Well, we know he's a kind of a backyard football type player. If the play collapses, he's going to tuck it and run. And that's actually been one of the better parts of the Huntington Beach offense this season is A.J. Perez just playmaking.
Curious to see if Huntington Beach tries to establish the run, tries to keep going back to it.
3 wide receivers split out towards us. Riedrich back in the game at running back. Perez airs it out. Moses is there, right in the breadbasket. And Billy Ridley makes a touchdown-saving tackle, but Tyler Moses, that's his first offensive touch of the game, and it's a huge gash into the Sailors' defense. Huntington Beach on the move.
Moses is a dangerous player, and that's why I kept saying it's only been 2 plays. Harbor still has to keep doing their part. There's a lot of defense left that these guys have to continue to stay sound on, and that's just letting a guy get behind you as a defensive back.
First and goal from the 6. Perez in the pistol. Pass. Looking. End zone. And it's intercepted by Emerson. He didn't get his feet in. That was an athletic play, though.
A.J. Perez is going to want that one back. I don't know what he was thinking. Just kept looking at it, looking at it, looking at it. Everybody in the stadium knows where it's going, so he's better than that.
Garrett Emerson, back from the collarbone injury. He played in game 1 against Yorba Linda. Had an almost identical interception that did count in the other corner of the end zone against the Mustangs. Broke his collarbone. And he's a good defensive player for the Sailors. When he's on the field, he'll force turnovers, and he plays good, solid pass coverage.
Good ball skills like a receiver.
Second down and goal from the 6. Fake handoff, pass, caught, Moses, touchdown, Tyler Moses. He might be down 14-0, 21-0, 28-0. He's going to keep playing hard, talking trash. He finds the end zone for 6, and Huntington Beach is on the board, 14-6, extra point pending.
Well, that's a great play call by Brett Brown in the offense. Faked the ball to E.J. Riedrich, hit Tyler Moses on a quick slant. And Huntington Beach did not go back to the run on that drive. That was an exclusively pass drive getting all the way down the field. If that's what the defense is giving you, they're going to take it.
And flags come in. Looked like we were seeing some of that swinging gate type of extra point formation by the Oilers. HB thinks that the Sailors might have jumped off sides. Officials are talking it over. And that was a good drive, Howard, by Huntington Beach to reclaim some of that momentum as the penalty goes against the Oilers. 14-0, 2 quick touchdowns by the Sailors, and all of a sudden, if you're on the Huntington Beach side, if you're Brett Brown and his staff, you're like, oh man, this thing could get out of hand quick. Like we talked about, the body language of HB was really bad after that second block punt. Drive down the field, find the end zone, they're right back in it.
Now you feel fine, no problems. You just forced the punt on the last defensive possession. Come out and force another punt. Offense picks up where you left off, and there's nothing to see here. So Huntington Beach, they just got to dig themselves out. But on the flip side, the Sailors have to keep their foot on Huntington Beach's neck.
Extra point by Tyler Morin is up and good. Touchdowns in this game are brought to you by Original Pizza. It's the place to be this weekend. It's the place to be every weekend, really, every day of the week. If you like pizza, if you like sports, if you like supporting Newport Harbor High School alumni-owned businesses, I recommend Original Pizza inside the Newport Beach Golf Course on Irvine Avenue. Also, our other 12th Tar sponsors, CT Realty, Golden Com, Arbor Real Estate, Balboa Boatyard, Newport Lexus, Newport Advisory, Slater Builders, and Sunset Rewind.
Critical offensive possession coming up for the Sailors. Wonder if they can put together a full 80-yard drive and really feel dominant, because 2 defensive touchdowns are great, or, I guess the first drive was only an 8-yard drive, but it was the offense.
Kick by Morin, going to roll into the hands of Josiah Lamarque at the 10-yard line. Now he finds a crease. He's still on his feet at the 40. And he steps out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Even in small doses, you can see the electrifying nature of Josiah Lamarque with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, when he's running the ball, he looks so natural. He hurdles a guy there. I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You can't teach that. It's just natural. That's why we want to see Josiah get a couple more opportunities, couple more looks in space.
You couldn't do that, Howard?
I would love to say that I could, but Josiah was blessed with that. And Coach Lonzo, I know Coach Lonzo Lamarque would say he taught him that, but I don't know.
Oh, he definitely believes he taught him that.
Coach Lonzo's taking credit for that hurdle and that vision for sure.
1:55 to play in the first. Time to throw by Guttron Moore. Airs it out, incomplete. Intended for Duke Starnes. And he was tangled up with the defender, but no flags thrown. That was Shea Vandergrift in coverage for Huntington Beach.
Newport Harbor 2nd and 10. You go deep on first down. Do you come back with Peyton Irving on second? We still haven't gotten a lot of touches out of Cash and Hingham, so look forward to seeing him come alive a little bit.
Second down and 10. Hingham is the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Duke Starnes stands next to him. Guttron Moore takes a snap, slant over the middle, incomplete. It was almost intercepted by Jordan Castro. And that is 2 incompletions, and we're back to third down and 10 for Newport Harbor.
I like the play call. Second and 10, it's man defense. I just said I want to see Josiah Lamarque get the ball. Just a quick 2-step slant. Unfortunately, the ball got away from A.J. Guttron Moore. But I like the quick passing game to the playmakers.
1:45 to play in the first. And a big third down for the Sailors. This is the longest field they've had to work with. See if they can put a drive together. Huntington Beach. Brett Brown going to use a timeout. We'll keep it right here and tell you about some of the awesome things going down this weekend in and around Newport Harbor High School. Tomorrow, let me find the official details because I don't want to butcher this because there's a lot of big things happening this weekend at the high school. And I've got my notes here. But tomorrow's going to be a fun day at Newport Harbor High School. Tomorrow, noon to 3, Homecoming Open House Festival. Food trucks, Battle of the Bands, current teachers, past teachers, current coaches, past coaches, an 11 a.m. showing of the documentary The Tower about the history of Newport Harbor High School. You can get tickets to that at newportharboralumni.org. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be at Battle of the Bands. There's some good bands playing. Walter, etc., the Milestones, and the Fireside Chats, all Newport Harbor alumni bands. Walter, etc., from my era, the Milestones from the 70s, and Fireside Chats from the 1990s. So come on out tomorrow, Battle of the Bands, noon to 3, right here at Newport Harbor High School. Third down and 10. Guttron Moore, pass, time to throw, airs it out, miscommunication. It was intended for Hingham, and they were not on the same page.
They weren't. Hingham was thinking back shoulder throw on the fade. Guttron Moore was thinking leading Hingham. It's the same look we talked about that they love. Pressed corner, no safety over the top. That's just reps between the receiver and the quarterback. Is it going to be a deep ball? Are you going to stop on it? They just got to get more practice at that to be on the same page.
Noe Avalos set to punt for the Sailors. Quincy Hankins back to return for Huntington Beach. Avalos, high punt, takes a modest Sailors bounce across the 30. Now it's going to roll down inside the 25. And that's where it will be downed by McKay Ketchum. We'll get another look at the Oilers offense that put together a touchdown drive to their first points of the game last time out. Tyler Moses caught the touchdown pass from A.J. Perez, and it seemed like the Oilers shook the rust off a little bit. I think it's really important here, however, the Sailors' defense to find some of that mojo they were playing with in the first.
They better find some of that energy from the first 2 and 3 drives because you do not want to let the Oilers start feeling good about themselves.
First down and 10, a minute 26 to play in the first. A.J. Perez, senior quarterback. He's got 3 receivers split out to the top of your screen.
Sailors bringing pressure.
Perez evades the first sack. Now he's slipped up, tripped up, and falls down in the backfield. Connor Chenier and Jacob Carlone dialed up the blitz, high-fiving at the 20-yard line, and that's a big sack for the Sailors defense.
Well, not only did Carlone and Chenier come off the edges, but one of the defensive linemen won their one-on-one battle. So Perez had somebody coming from his left, his right, and straight down the middle. That's a tough situation for a quarterback.
55 seconds to go. Final minutes of the first quarter. A.J. Perez, second down and 17. Pass looks our way. It's complete to Brandon Kasha. And that's going to be short of the first down. So it's third down and long for Huntington Beach after the sack. Then a short completion to Kasha. What do you dial up here if you're Brett Brown and the Huntington Beach Oilers, Howard?
Well, we've seen screens on 3rd and long thus far. I'm looking for Tyler Moses or Hideo Ray trying to beat a linebacker.
And that's Caleb Kelly, the receiver closest to us, 6'5" senior. Perez drops back, now running for dear life. Trying to outrun Carson Diavolo. That's hard to do, and he has to throw it away. Diavolo was in pursuit, and you know how badly he wanted to hit A.J. Perez there. Great defensive pressure, 4th down and 14 for Huntington Beach.
Well, Huntington Beach was going to Hideo Ray on that play. He was one-on-one versus Johnny Checks, running a little out-and-up route. But the Sailors' defensive line and linebackers did what they were supposed to do. They helped out their defensive backs. It did not let A.J. Perez find his receivers or get comfortable.
Tyler Moses on to punt. And Josiah Lamarque back to return. 2 blocked punts in this quarter, in this game, from the Sailors and Johnny Checks. It's a fake. Moses going to try to pick up ground on his legs. He's evading tacklers, and now he's tackled at the 25. There was a lot of grass in front of Moses, but the Sailors defense recovered. Connor Chenier made the tackle. That's an interesting play call, Howard.
Yeah, especially with no outlet, nobody to dump the ball off to. The only option was Tyler Moses. You almost wonder, is it like an option play? If Tyler Moses sees that it's wide open, he can take off, because
that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, you don't usually think you're going to fake it from your own 25. But it did look like there was a little something. Tyler Moses could have broke a tackle, but he just had nothing.
There was too many yards to pick up for the senior, as dynamic as he is. And now the Sailors have the ball in excellent field position. 1st down and 10 from the HB 26-yard line. It's a play-action pass. Looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Sailors. Josiah Lamarque in for 6. Oh, temper your excitement. Don't play the foghorn yet. Newport Harbor ASB. It's a holding call, a holding penalty against the Sailors. And oh, what a dime from Gutraw Moore. I wish that counted, obviously, but wow.
It was a great play, little fake option in the backfield. Had Cashin Hingham in motion, had Peyton Irving faking the handoff. But ultimately, it was Josiah Lamarque one-on-one with the post route. He crosses the cornerback's face and gets the ball right on the money. Hope we get to see that play again, because it was executed to perfection.
The holding penalty makes it 1st down and 20 from the 40-yard line. 2 receivers on either side for senior quarterback A.J. Gutraw Moore. He had 4 touchdown passes last week against Huntington Beach. Here he hands it off to Peyton Irving. And he just goes right down the aisle to pick up some of that penalty yardage. Well, that'll do it. When we come back, Sailors on the move in Oilers territory, leading 14-7. You're watching Newport Harbor football against Huntington Beach. It's homecoming on TarTV. Welcome back in to TarTV. Alex Crawford, Howard Kroom with you here from Davidson Field. Great atmosphere. Great night for football in one of the best venues for high school football in Southern California. It's 2nd down and 16. Sailors are on the move. Pass is caught by Henjum. Right around the original 1st down marker. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 or 8 for the Sailors. Holding penalty. Pushed them back on this drive and negated. I shouldn't say pushed them back. Pushed them out of the end zone and negated a beautiful touchdown pass from Guttron Moore to Lamarque.
Sailors responding adequately on 1st and 2nd down after the penalty. 2+ plays, giving their offense an opportunity to convert here on 3rd down.
3rd down and 8. Sailors scored 14 unanswered to open the game. Then Huntington Beach struck back. Guttron Moore hit as he throws. Heaves it up there, incomplete. Intended for Cashton Henjum.
That play was dead from the beginning. I didn't see who the cornerback was. It looks like it was, is that Hideo? Quincy Hankins just jammed Cashton Henjum up. Henjum couldn't get off the line of scrimmage, just had nothing to work with.
And John Richardson on to kick a field goal. This will be about a 42-yarder, which I don't have the official notes, but I believe that would be a career long for the young John Richardson.
I think he's got it in him.
I mean, this is a tough make right here. I know it's straight on, but hold is good. Kick's got the distance, and it's right down the pipe. From 41 yards out, John Richardson has the Sailors fired up.
It's a big field goal, making it a 2-possession game, 10 points. So offense getting a little something out of their drive.
17-7 after a 41-yard field goal from sophomore John Richardson. I didn't know he had that kind of boot on him.
Well, it was good as soon as it left his foot. Could have been good from 51.
Oh, wow. Don't get me excited. I'd love to see John Richardson nailing 51-yard field goals.
I'm just so curious to see what happens with this Oilers offense. We've seen it look excellent. We've seen it look completely stagnant. A lot of similarities between the Sailors and the Oilers. Just who are they? What are they actually capable of? I still don't know for either team.
Two teams still seeking their identities late in the season. Now, HB at 4-3, very up and down, very mercurial year for the Huntington Beach team. They've looked like a team that could threaten for a top 3 position in league at times, and they've looked extremely sloppy at times. Meanwhile, Newport Harbor, no one expected the Sailors to be 2-5 at this point. They thought they'd get one of those preseason games besides the one against Marina, and they lost all of those. Capo Valley, Trabuco Hills, Yorba Linda. And they're here now, 7 games into the season, maybe finally finding their identity. This is going to be a season-defining game for these two squads.
And this would be, if the Sailors end up pulling it out, it would be the first win of the season for them against a team that they're not favored against heavily.
Well, it'd be their first win against a team with a winning record as well. 1st down and 10 for the Oilers, trailing by 10. Senior A.J. Perez in at quarterback. Sailors bring some pressure. He finds Hideo Ray, who's dynamic with the ball in his hands. Then he picks up a big chunk of yardage on the 1st down catch. 2nd down and short here for Huntington Beach.
And when Harbor blitzes, they go into a man defense. And if the Oilers can time it up, they can hit those short routes, those quick outs to Hideo Ray all night long.
2nd down and 1. Perez takes a snap. He's pressured up the middle by Papa George. Now using his legs to pick up the 1st down and then some. He's tackled from behind by Cam Danoon at the 40-yard line. 1st down, Oilers.
That's the danger of bringing pressure. It's great when you get to them, but if you flush them out the pocket and your linebackers are all up the field, there's no second line of defense, and it's a 1st down every time.
And if you're watching on the live stream, don't leave your couch for halftime. We got the homecoming court. We're going to crown a homecoming queen. Got the princesses going to be out there. And an extended halftime show. First down and 10. Perez. Pass. Flag is down. It's incomplete. Intended for Hideo Ray. And that's certainly going to be a holding penalty against Huntington. Are you thinking it's a face mask against Jacob Jerzik?
No. Oh, my gosh. It is a hands to the face against
Wow.
Jerzik. I was going to say that's a ticky-tack hold. I didn't think there was anything to be called on that play.
Well, they got Jacob Jerzik, the soccer player who plays D-line. You know, he doesn't get to use his hands in his other sport, so I think he was getting a little excited there. Grabbed the face mask of the Huntington Beach offensive lineman, and that's an automatic first down for the Oilers.
That's a tough call on Jerzik. I don't think that was a off the ball, away from the play, inadvertent hands to the face that didn't impact anything. But it gives Huntington Beach a new set of downs.
HB putting a bit of a drive together here. They started at their own 20-yard line. We got 10-18 to play until halftime. Perez out of the pistol. Throws it over the middle. And it's broken up by McKay Ketchum. Hideo Ray was trying to hang on to that ball. And good job by the sophomore defensive back linebacker McKay Ketchum to get a paw in there and break that up.
Well, Ray was wide open. He was so open, he didn't know what to do. Should I stop? Should I go? The linebacker in front of him vacated the area on a blitz, and Ray just wanted to set down and get the open pass.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. Good to see E.J. Riedrich back in the backfield for the Oilers. It's a play action to Riedrich. Pass over the middle to Ray. Incomplete again. And Hideo Ray, man, he usually grabs those.
That's a frustrating one right there because Ray was in the middle of three defenders, in the middle of the zone. He was wide open. He just took his eyes off the ball. Not going to say he heard footsteps, but he knew a hit was coming. He tried to get upfield before he caught it. And we haven't seen a rush by Huntington Beach since, I mean, it's been a long time since they've ran the football. Unless it's a scramble by A.J. Perez. They've gone exclusively through the air.
The Oilers elect to use their second timeout of the opening half. They want to talk things over. Third down and 10. 5 yards into Sailors territory. So Coach Brett Brown and his team are going to talk it over. Peter Lofthouse, or more so defensive coordinator John Arredondo, going to talk things over with the Sailors defense. PA announcer Greg Kennedy. Staying busy tonight. A lot of announcements, a lot of shout-outs, a lot of class reunions in the house here at Davidson tonight.
Well, Mr. Kennedy was giving love to all the alumni in the house earlier, shouted out everybody who graduated in the 1950s, 1960s, and they are well represented.
Oh, yeah, there's some folks here from the classes of the early 50s from Newport Harbor in attendance here tonight. Back when the land surrounding Davidson Field here was just meadows. Third down and 10, 10:09 to play in the second. A.J. Perez, three receivers, top of the screen. He's looking that way. Now he airs it deep over the middle, intended for Ray, into triple coverage. Carlone, Kroll, and Ketchum all in coverage on the dynamic Huntington Beach receiver, Hideo Ray. It's fourth down and 10 for the Oilers.
Miscommunication there by receiver and quarterback. Perez had all day to throw. He aired it out. But Ray didn't take the right angle and never had a chance.
It looks like Huntington Beach is going to go for it. They're in Sailors territory. The Oilers had 2 punts blocked in the first quarter, both by Sailors junior Johnny Check. So Coach Brett Brown wants to roll the dice. Fourth down and 10. A.J. Perez takes the snap. Time to throw. Pump fake. No one's open. Kroll's in pursuit. Can Perez pick it up with his legs? He's shoved out of bounds. Where's the spot? And that's going to be 1 yard short of the line to gain. A turnover on down. Sailors sideline is fired up, barking. First down, Sailors.
And the Oilers had 3 opportunities on first, second, and third down to just pick up 2 or 3 yards. but came up empty every time. That's why when you don't have a run game, when you completely abandon it, it impacts everything you do.
If you're watching from home tonight, come by the high school tomorrow. Homecoming Open House Festival, noon to 3. You can visit the teacher's tent, catch up with your favorite teachers, coaches, and staff. All kinds of cool people are going to be out there tomorrow, and some great music. 1st and 10 Sailors. Lamarque in motion, takes the handoff, and he's got nowhere to go. Ball came out. It was recovered by the Sailors. Makai Sagayo fell on it, but Lamarque had nowhere to go. 2nd down and 10.
Big drive for the Sailors to continue to get some distance between them and the Oilers. The first couple of touchdowns felt kind of fluky, but last drive was successful. Let's see if they can keep it going. Doesn't help being behind the sticks at 2nd and 12, of course.
Senior quarterback A.J. Goutron-Moore takes a snap. Over the middle, it's tipped. Tip balls, or pick balls, and Jordan Castro has that one coming the other way for Huntington Beach. 1st down and 10, Oilers. And the Sailors shoot themselves in the foot.
That was a quick slant to Lamarque. It's a play I've wanted to see. Kind of reminds me of what just happened with Hideo Ray. He was in between a lot of defenders. There was a lot of traffic. And that was a ball that Goutron-Moore didn't put on Lamarque's body. He put it out in front a little bit. Josiah had to go out and catch it with his hands, and he just short-armed it a little bit.
So the Oilers with a real opportunity here after the turnover on downs. They get the ball back pretty much right where they had it. They're going to try to do something. Down 2 possessions. Sailors scored 14 to open the game. HB answered with a Tyler Moses touchdown catch. And the Sailors added a John Richardson field goal. That's how we got here. 1st and 10, A.J. Perez takes a snap. Time to throw. Test the rocket launcher deep. Hideo Ray.
That's a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. One-handed for the score. One of the best grabs you'll see at any level. Touchdown, Oilers.
They've been trying to feed Hideo Ray the rock, and I understand why. He's getting behind Sailors defenders at will. Every time he goes deep, he gets a step or two on the defensive backs of the Sailors, and that time it was a one-person route. Hideo Ray ran by everybody. A.J. Perez dropped it in the breadbasket. That's a highlight.
Man, that's one of the best catches you'll see. We've seen some great catches this year from Tyler Hampton at Edison, from Nico Brown at Edison, and I think Hideo Ray saw the incredible grabs being made by wide receivers around the Sunset League, and he said, hey, don't forget about me.
Well, that's a tough one because it's hanging in the air. Almost blocked the kick.
Johnny Checks almost blocked that one again.
But that's a tough catch because it's hanging in the air. Hideo Ray, it's not even over his shoulder. It's almost directly above his head, so he has to track it. That's great concentration after 2 drops in a row by Hideo Ray. So you got to have confidence as a coaching staff and as a player to shake those off and still make that play.
Well, Howard, Huntington Beach, they're not just right back in it. They've all of a sudden got some momentum.
Huntington Beach is saying, hey, we've scored two times on our offense. You've only scored 3 points on offense. So they're right back in the game. They spotted Harbor 14 points. Harbor better extend this lead quickly.
The Sailors offense, looking at the scoreboard, you're thinking, okay, 17 points. Newport's put up points, but the offense, they really haven't found rhythm. A turnover, some punts. I mean, they're not where they need to be to control this game.
There's been at least, well, first of all, it seems like it's been a very long first half as it is. We still got 9 minutes left in the second quarter.
I need a coffee.
I don't know how that's possible, but Harbor punted. They've already punted 3 or 4 times in this game, so the Oilers' defense definitely doing something right. Just shot themselves in the foot a few times on special teams.
Well, it's the usual suspects thus far in this game for Huntington. A.J. Perez slinging 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Moses, 1 to Ray. And the short kick fielded by Tanner Muir. He really wanted to go truck stick on the defender. Holds on to the football, and it's 1st down and 10 for a Sailors offense. that, like we were just talking about, they haven't quite found their rhythm yet tonight, Howard.
Big opportunity for him. Coach probably going to stick with A.J. Gutron more. Like we said, I wonder if at any point we see Nick Kim. But it'll probably be determined by what we see on these next 2 drives. And the Sailors got to come out with some touchdowns.
First down and 10, Newport Harbor. Needing points, leading by 3, 8:50 to play in the second quarter. Gutron Moore takes a snap. It's a handoff to Irving. He's got daylight across the 40-yard line. 10 yards on first down for the junior running back. Mobilize the chain gang, first down Sailors.
The offensive line has done a great job of picking up blitzes, done a great job of making holes, and Peyton Irving is hitting the hole as hard as he needs to. The run games look good tonight for the Sailors.
Eli Anderson in on the stop for the Oilers. This is a really important drive rhythmically for this Sailors offense. And momentum-wise in this game. It feels like momentum is out there for the taking. Incomplete pass intended for Lamarque.
And that's some of the stuff that you get with a quarterback that's not as experienced. We've seen a couple of balls sail on him. A little bit of miscommunication with the receivers. But when he's on and when he's looking right, he's a huge plus. He's a huge spark for this offense.
And credit to the other senior quarterback, Nick Kim. It's not easy coming back from injury, having to compete, and then not getting the start on homecoming. So just credit to him for battling this season. Second down and 10 after the incompletion. 3 receivers split out wide. Josiah Lamarque, the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. Irving takes the handoff. Everyone that tries to tackle him bounces off like an elementary school child, and he picks up 5 yards. I know you brought up Justin McCoy earlier. Replacing him, one of the hardest things the Sailors have had to do this season, but like you said in the first, Howard, Irving, he gets better every game and every time he touches the football.
He's definitely improved throughout the season, game after game. I just love his speed. I mean, he's really has it all as a running back. Explosive, great acceleration, hits you hard. He's been everything for the Sailors tonight.
Third down and 5. 2 receivers on either side. And the senior signal caller, A.J. Gutron Moore, stands in the middle of the field here at Davidson. It's a quick pass out to Irving, who breaks a tackle. He's shoved across the 50-yard line. Henry Eddy couldn't grab him, and that's a first down.
This guy's been everything tonight, and not just because the coaches are calling plays for him, but because he's getting a little bit extra. He's making something happen that's not there originally. And I realize I'm giving credit to the defense and special teams for 2 touchdowns. Technically, the offense scored one of those, and it was Peyton Irving. But I'm giving that credit to the special teams for the first touchdown.
What a dual threat, Peyton Irving. 6 foot, 185-pound junior. Gutron Moore on a rollout. Completes it. Far side of the field to Henjum for 7 or 8 yards on first down.
And that's been cash money all day, whether Gutron Moore's rolling out or he drops straight back. Timing route with Cash, 5, whether it's a 5-yard stop or an 8-yard curl, that feels like it's there all day.
Peyton Irving, 7 touchdown runs this season. I believe that was his first touchdown catch of the year in the first quarter. Second down and 3 for the Sailors. It's still Irving in the backfield with Gutron Moore. 6:40 to play in the second. Duke Starnes comes in motion. It's a screen for Irving. He's got room to run up the sideline. Look at him go across the 20. Showing off the speed and darting into the red zone. Sailors, first down.
And who is that lineman right there, number 69 with the sleeves on?
Emilio Marquez.
He gets credit for every single yard of that play right there. It shouldn't have gotten started. It was sniffed out perfectly by the Oilers, and Marquez came and laid his body out to get a piece of the defender, and that sprung Peyton Irving for 30 yards.
Finally, we're halfway through the second quarter. 6 minutes to play. Sailors are knocking on the door. The football gods serving up momentum on a silver platter. Which team's going to take it here in the second? Gutron Moore buying time with his legs. Flags come in. And now Guttron Moore is sacked. That's a flag that typically ends up being a holding penalty. Looks like that was Jeremy Carpenter in on the sack for HB.
Looks like the Sailors are walking backwards. So it looks like it was a holding penalty. And this is critical for the Sailors because we've been asking, can the offense sustain? Can they put together some actual drives and look good? And this is a great example of one. And what's the quickest way to kill a drive? False starts, holding penalties, getting way behind the sticks for no reason. So now the Sailors got to dig themselves out.
Oh, and I see Tar Football Booster Club President Jason Levin in the house. First down and 20. Swing pass out of the backfield. They go back to Irving. And Irving loses the football. HB thinks they got it, and
I think they're going to say he was down.
I think they're going to say he was down as well. Yes, they are giving the ball back to the Sailors, or keeping it with the Sailors. And we don't have replay at the high school level or here, unfortunately, on TarTV, maybe someday. But I think if we replayed it, we would see knee and then ground causing the fumble. But
it was close, though.
It was very close, and the ball looked like it was going to roll out of bounds. It stayed in, and HB came up with it. So the Sailors really dodging a bullet there. 5 minutes to play, second down and 12.
And it was more Peyton Irving, though. Peyton Irving after Peyton Irving.
Guttron Moore pressured. They go back to Irving again. What a move. Across the 10, it takes two Oilers to bring him down. Just shy of the 5-yard line. It's been all Peyton Irving all night long on offense for Newport Harbor.
I think there was one play on this possession that went to Cash. The other 6 or 7 have all gone to Peyton Irving, whether it's handoffs or throws. They're getting him the ball.
Oh, he's earning his stripes tonight. Get this guy some original pizza after the game.
And you got to hand him the ball on 3rd and 3.
The O-line's been blocking well.
And
Irving's been running hard.
You could see Irving trying to catch his breath out there, huffing and puffing.
Let's see if they give him the ball. 4 minutes to play, 3rd down and 3. They're going to pass. Guttron Moore takes a shot. Incomplete. No flags. Intended for Starnes over the middle. He got popped. Guttron Moore got popped. And now what do you do here, Howard? 4th down and 3. Deep in the red zone.
It's a hard question. I always say this is why they pay Coach Lofthouse the big bucks. It looks like he's going for it. I like the last play. 2 quick slants, even though I would have handed it to Peyton Irving, because he's going to get you at least 2. The 2 quick slants was a good look, but the ball was on the back hip. It was on Duke Starnes' back hip instead of leading him into the end zone. He just couldn't haul it in.
Coach Lofthouse and the Sailors elect to use their second timeout of the first half. They'll have 1 remaining. Going to draw something up here. Like I said, this game is momentum-wise, feeling-wise, it's up for the taking right now.
Well, if you're the Oilers here, you either go down by 10 points or you steal momentum away and put together a drive before halftime and take the lead for the first time in the game. So this is a huge play for both teams. And again, ultimately for the season of both teams because of what's in the balance here.
This game is a turning point game for these two teams in their seasons. This play right now, with 4 minutes to play until halftime, this play is the turning point play of this game.
It certainly could be. We'll see how it plays out, but it's ready-made as a big opportunity for whoever grasps the moment.
2 receivers on either side for senior quarterback A.J. Guttron Moore. Peyton Irving in the backfield with him. Has had his number called many times on this drive. Guttron Moore takes a snap, pass, quick pass, caught by Henjum, spinning around into the end zone. Touchdown, Sailors. How about that?
Gutsy call by Coach Lofthouse. There was a lot of traffic in there. You needed your offensive linemen to get up and get bodies on linebackers. trusting Gutron Moore to throw a pass to a receiver that's running right at him. That required excellent, perfect execution, and that's what the Sailors had.
If HB gets the stop there, they have the opportunity to drive the length of the field and take the lead before halftime. Instead, the Sailors roll the dice on 4th down and find pay dirt. A.J. Gutron Moore to Cashton Henjum. Cash money. 3:53 to play in the second quarter. And the Sailors lead by 10, 24-14. And that, I know, Howard, there's a lot of football left to be played in this game. There's a whole second half. There's still 3 minutes and 53 seconds. So I'm being a bit hyperbolic when I say that's the turning point of the game. But it really felt like a game that the Sailors came out and struck hard and fast and first and led 14-0. HB, they could have taken control of the game right there. Now Newport's up 10, 24-14. So a real big moment thus far in this game.
Well, what makes it tough for Huntington Beach is, remember, Harbor started out the game by kicking off. So if Huntington Beach doesn't score here, they run the risk of giving the ball right back to Harbor in the third quarter, who can come down, continue to feel themselves on offense, and extend the lead even further from 10-17. So big drive coming up here for the Huntington Beach Oilers.
John Richardson's kickoff, an end-over-ender fielded by Hideo Ray at the 5-yard line. Ray cuts it back up the middle, slips through a couple tacklers. Now trying to drag guys with him. There's a scrum, and he's tackled at the 27-yard line. First down and 10 Oilers. A touchdown by Huntington Beach here would be huge for them.
Huge. They need a touchdown here. They need a touchdown so that they don't start to feel like momentum's going in the wrong direction.
A chance for them to say, hey, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. And then really this thing turns into a shootout heading into the second half.
And that's what I want to see. That's what should happen here. Huntington Beach has the weapons. Let's see if they're still feeling confident.
First down and 10 Oilers from their own 29-yard line. A.J. Perez over the middle, threads the needle to Ray, but a violent tackle by Carson Diavola. He will make you pay. 5 yards on the pitch and catch. Perez to Ray.
And there's some of that philosophy, that quick, just Hideo Ray go 5 yards, turn around, throw him the ball. There's some of that I like to see out of the Newport Harbor Sailors. The quick stop to Henjum, the quick slant to Lamarque.
Second down and 5 for A.J. Perez. The Oilers offense, Perez pass. Chased by Connor Chenier. Now throws on the run and throws it away.
We have not seen Perez hand the ball off in forever. And if you watch, they're continuously trying to get Hideo Ray one-on-one with the linebacker, one-on-one with the safety, and exploit that matchup. But the Sailors' defensive line are doing a great job of getting pressure and not letting Perez find that matchup.
The Oilers' offense feels a bit one-dimensional right now, Howard.
I mean, it's been all Hideo Ray. It's totally one-dimensional in terms of run-pass.
Third down and 5 for A.J. Perez. Good test for the Sailors' defense here with 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Snap is low. Perez able to pick it up off the turf, and he runs out of bounds. He's shoved, and flags are going to come in. Alexi Papa George is going to get a late hit penalty as Perez almost took out a cheerleader.
And by Perez staying poised, picking the ball up off the ground instead of falling on it, he keeps the play alive and now picks up 15 yards on a penalty.
That's tough.
It wasn't drawn up that way, but it worked out for the Oilers. And that's huge when it's third down and you put the snap on the ground on third down when you're trying to put together a 2-minute drill. A 15-yard penalty, that's the definition of a bailout.
The 15-yarder on the late hit against Papa George, who's most certainly getting the earful on the sideline from the coaching staff. First down and 10 Oilers. On their own 46-yard line, 2:52 to play. Stick around at halftime if you're watching at home. The 2021 Newport Harbor homecoming queen will be crowned. They hand it off to Riedrich, and he's stoned right at the line of scrimmage by a big gray wall. Connor Chenier, the first one there. Carson Diavola came in and helped out, and it's a good time to shout out Carson's older brother, Jack. I heard he's having a watch party tonight out in Chicago. He plays for Wheaton College, slot receiver. Carson's brother, Jack Diavola. And rumors are, now I don't know if college kids get together and have watch parties of high school football on Friday night, but I appreciate them tuning in. Hideo Ray catches it, and then he's tripped up by Diavola at the 50-yard line. A shoestring tackle saves major chunk yardage. 3rd down and 5 here for Huntington Beach.
Well, we talk about Hideo Ray being everything for the Oilers. Carson Diavola, he's everything for the Sailors defense. So, of course, he comes up with that shoestring tackle to hopefully get the Oilers off the field here.
It's 3rd and 5. Final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Tanner Muir checks back in, showing pressure on the edge from the Sailors. He comes. Sailors rush 3. Pass is caught for a first down. Tyler Moses needed 5 yards. He got 8. First down Oilers into Sailor territory.
Perez is tough when he gets time. He hung in there, threw a ball into coverage, but put it right on the money where only his receiver could catch it.
Billy Ridley in on the tackle for Newport Harbor. 1st and 10 Oilers, 1:38 to play. Huntington Beach trying to put together a 2-minute drill and get points before halftime. Sailors will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Perez tests the rocket launcher. Hideo Ray in the breadbasket. Touchdown Oilers.
You can't stop them. They've been going, the Oilers have been going to Hideo Ray almost exclusively for 3 drives in a row. You just can't, nobody on the Sailors team can run with Hideo Ray right now.
Howard, we talked about it when these two teams faced off here in April during the COVID season. We talked about it covering 7-on-7 for Sunset Rewind this summer. We talk about it every week on Sunset Rewind. Hideo Ray is Mr. Reliable. He will find ways to beat you. He will find ways to get open. Right now, the Oilers' offense is one-dimensional, but it doesn't matter because that one dimension is Hideo Ray, the playmaker, and he's got the Oilers back within 1 possession. And a broken point-after touchdown attempt. They try to go for 2 with Tyler Moses, and I spoke too soon because now it's not a one-possession game. Or yes, it is. Sorry. It's not a field goal game. It's a one-possession game.
But it should be a field goal game. Huntington Beach goes for it out of the swinging gate, unconventional field goal alignment. But, yeah, I said it before the game. I said it last year. Hideo Ray's probably my favorite player in the Sunset League. So,
wow,
seeing him have a couple of early drops was unconventional, uncharacteristic. But then you see him run by the defenders, catch 2 balls over his head while he's getting tackled for 40-yard touchdowns. It's like, okay, that's the Hideo Ray that we're used to.
24-20, Sailors still in the lead, but Huntington Beach, they're not going away. Hideo Ray, 2 touchdown grabs in this quarter, and neither of them were easy.
And that's why it was crazy when he had the drops, because he doesn't need them to be easy. But it seemed like Coach Brown said, you know what? Forget all the cute stuff. Hideo, run 5 yards, turn around. We're just going to throw you the ball. And it just started working over and over. And then run by your guy, we're going to throw it up.
Well, that's nearly 100 yards of receiving and 2 touchdown catches for Hideo Ray in this quarter. A.J. Perez has tossed 3 touchdowns so far, 1 to Moses in the first, 2 to Ray here.
And all that stuff we did hyping up that 4th and 3 doesn't matter because Huntington Beach found their footing and erased that touchdown in about a minute and a half.
Now the question is, do the Sailors try to do something here? Let's see what Josiah Lamarque does with the ball in his hands. He's across the 50-yard line. And now you've got 47 yards to pay dirt. 1 touchdown, 76 seconds. Do you try to do something here, Howard?
Absolutely. There's more than enough time for the Sailors to come out and score. They don't even have to go right to the sideline. They can throw the ball over the middle. They could even hand the ball off if they wanted to. They have to go fast, but Everything's available to you. You only need 46 yards, 47 yards.
4 receivers in the game. Josiah Lamarque at the bottom of your screen, then Zach Zamora, Duke Starnes, and Cash Money, the junior, reigning Sunset League wide receiver of the year, Cash and Hensham. A.J. Guttron-Moore out of the pistol, takes a snap, rolls out, and it's incomplete. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, number 9 on Huntington Beach almost got his leg just, oh, man. Nathan Tawanu'u, I hope he's okay.
Henry Eddy almost caught that thing on the run coming the other way. A flag comes in, and Nate Tawanu'u. Howard, what happened? I was looking down at my notes.
It was a late hit. Somebody was standing around, and somebody for Harbor threw a guy into Nate Tawanu'u and rolled up on his leg. It didn't look good. Hopefully it's just a little sprain.
Well, you were talking about Hideo Reyes, one of your favorite players in the Sunset League. Nate Tawanu'u, linebacker / fullback for Huntington Beach. He's got 2 defensive touchdowns this season. He's a junior, electrifying linebacker. Obviously, I hope he's okay.
And it would be a shame for him to get hurt, especially on a play like that that's not football related. He was just standing around and had a guy roll up on him. It's kind of like when you see offensive linemen get rolled up on in the trenches, in the box. Similar play.
Man, I hope he's okay.
And that was almost a pick 6.
Oh, Henry Eddy will have nightmares. He caught that. He didn't catch it, but he almost caught that running full speed the other way.
Well, what happened was Duke Starnes was running a route where he starts the slant, puts his foot in the ground, and heads back out towards the sideline. And when he put his foot in the ground, he lost his footing, slipped, and Guttron-Moore threw the ball anyway. The only person standing there was the linebacker. That was a dangerous play.
All right. After the incompletion, Sailors have it 2nd down and 10 with 1 minute and 11 seconds to play. And somehow the Oilers, I didn't see what the penalty call was, but they got themselves a penalty on that play.
It was a late hit. Oh, so it was the Oilers had a late hit. They threw a Sailor into Nate Tawanu'u. That's what happened.
That gives the Sailors 32 yards to the end zone with 71 seconds to play until halftime. Guttron-Moore hands it off to Irving. And Peyton Irving will not be denied in this game. How about 22 yards? Toting the rock on first down Sailors.
Well, those interior linemen for the Sailors, they might deserve the game ball because Irving has been up the middle, A-gap, B-gap, all night long untouched.
Brody Bradfield, Emilio Marquez, Nate Peters, Grayson Simon, and McKay Sagai out. Incomplete. Oh, Duke Starnes. It was right there. And he pounds the ground in frustration.
And he's got to catch that ball. He knows it. But it was another example of the ball just being a hair behind him. As a receiver, he's running one direction, has to contort his body, come back and catch a ball behind him. It's a tough catch to make, but he's got to do it.
Stick around at halftime. The Newport Harbor 2021 homecoming court, a new queen will be crowned. Shout out to the princesses, Ashley Castaneda, Avery Wolf, Abigail Valdez, Michaela Cotton, Madison Flores, and Samantha Lopez Arevalo. Your 2021 Newport Harbor homecoming court. 2nd down and 10 Sailors. Ball's on the 11-yard line. Guttron-Moore. It's a screen for Lamarque. He makes the first man miss. He's driven out of bounds. And a late hit. The official throws that flag high into the air.
This is a game of mental mistakes right now. This is just crazy. 15-yard penalty earlier on the drive. Now another 15-yard penalty. Both teams just making mistakes that you just can't have them.
Howard, we talked to Brett Brown, the Oilers head coach, every week for our show Sunset Rewind. And in their wins and losses, he often says the common refrain from Coach Brown is We got to clean up the mistakes. We shot ourselves in the foot. Here we are seeing it with our own 2 eyes, and it really is a problem for the Oilers.
Well, that's what we just saw. I mean, that was a throwing Lamarque to the ground when he already conceded. He didn't have anything. It was actually going to be a good spot for the Oilers to be in, but now you got a fresh set of downs for the Sailors. Only 5 yards to go, and I guess 7 yards to go.
First and goal from the 7, 31 seconds until halftime.
Is it first down? Yeah, it's 1st and 7. First and goal from the 7.
Omar Rafat in the game at wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. It's a handoff to Irving, behind blockers, in the end zone. Give me some!
I was going to say, how do you stop Peyton Irving from going 7 yards? Tonight, you're not going to.
And on the sideline, dapping up A.J. Goutron-Moore is former Sunset League running back of the year, Justin McCoy, along with James Kroll. Now Peyton Irving. He's doing his best Justin McCoy impression, and he punches it in from 7 yards out. Touchdown, Sailors.
And we got parents in the stands fired up. A.J. Goutron-Moore's mom representing for the Sailors.
The parents are fired up tonight, Howard.
Well, 31 points in the first half for the Sailors, and we challenged them. We gave 14 of those points to the special teams unit, but they've come back, the Sailors offense have, and proven that it's not just special teams. They can operate and look successful as well.
This is turning into quite the shootout here on Irvine Avenue. 51 combined points in the first half. Huntington Beach, they're not done yet. Sailors keep grabbing momentum back, and then the Oilers answer. Second half is going to be mighty interesting as Peyton Irving's dad comes up. You know what I do love about high school football? I love that the parents of the kids who just scored the touchdown can walk up to the press box and high-five us during the game.
Well, they're certainly fired up, as they should be. This is the most the Sailors have had to cheer about all season. Even though there was 49 points against Fountain Valley last week, this is different. This is a home game, homecoming, a tough opponent. And go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, even after you said Huntington Beach isn't done, after giving away 2 possessions and some stupid penalties, they still found a way to put up 20 points in the first half. So an offense that can certainly get going, and the Sailors are going to have to continue to score more in the second half.
The Sailors have earned their points, but on that drive and earlier in the game, HB gave up a ton of yards on penalties, and they're still down 11, 20 points scored. So if they can somehow clean that up in the second half, don't count them out.
If I'm HB, I take a shot with Hideo Ray right here. There's nobody that's proven they can run with them all night. Take a shot.
100 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns in this quarter for the senior. They hand it off instead to Riedrich. And that's classic down in the ditches, dirty tar football in the trenches, tackling him as soon as he touches the football. And that'll do it for the first half of play. Huntington Beach unable to get the run game going, but Hideo Ray came alive. 2 deep touchdowns, a 40-yarder and a 45-yarder from A.J. Perez in this quarter. And the Oilers are still in it, but the Sailors are in control. 31-20. Newport leads. We'll take a break here on our play-by-play broadcast, but stick around on TarTV. It's an extended homecoming halftime show. I know Newport Harbor ASB put a lot of thought, preparation, and effort into this. They're going to crown a new homecoming queen. The dance team's going to do a performance. The cheerleaders are going to do a performance. I mean, this is a great show. This is great entertainment. Normally you have to pay for this kind of top-quality entertainment. You get it for free on TarTV. We'll come back with the second half, and the Sailors in the lead. 31-20, your score here at halftime. You're watching Newport Harbor football. It's homecoming on TarTV.
Hey, you guys, thanks for all the props that you give AJ. girls flag football team. Ashley's favorite class at Newport Harbor is English with Miss Zeruli because she loves the people she works with and enjoys taking notes. Her favorite memory at Newport Harbor was when she was pulled out of her drama class and told she was homecoming princess. Ashley thinks that the best thing at Newport Harbor is the school spirit, positive energy, and kind people. Our sophomore princess is Avery Wool. Avery is being escorted by her mother, Amy Wool. Avery plays goalie on the Newport Harbor girls water polo team, is an ASB, and is a part of the FIDM Club. Avery's favorite class at Newport Harbor is ASB. A memorable moment for Avery at Newport Harbor was grade wars last year, especially beating the seniors in tug of war. Avery's favorite thing about Newport Harbor is the opportunities that the school offers. She sees that there's truly something for everyone at Newport Harbor, including so many options and different classes for each student's specific interest and talent. Avery believes that the different programs, sports teams, and clubs around school make it such a diverse and unique environment. Our junior princess is Abby Valdez. Abby is being escorted by her father, Vince Valdez. She is on varsity song, a member of DECA, and FCA leadership, and is in the IB program. Abby is also in the National Charity League and volunteers as a middle school youth group leader at St. Andrews. Her favorite class at school was AP Lang during her sophomore year because she liked the people and her teacher, Mr. Zenny. Abby's favorite memory at Newport Harbor was traveling to Las Vegas to cheer during her freshman year. Her favorite thing about Newport Harbor is the community on campus. Our senior princess is Michaela Cotton. Michaela is being escorted by her mother, Anthea Cotton. Her favorite class at school has been with Mr. Pinson for chemistry because he is always making the class fun and exciting. Michaela's most memorable moment at Newport Harbor is going to be ASB camp her sophomore year. She was able to meet so many new people and represent her school to others. She plays varsity field hockey and softball at Harbor. In her free time, Michaela enjoys playing softball on her travel team, hanging out with friends, and sleeping. And finally, all the friends she's made and the work she's been involved with will be what she misses most about high school. Another one of our senior princesses is Maddie Flores. Maddie is being escorted by her stepfather, Stephen Scott. She is on the pep squad and in her free time attends Harvest Youth Church Unite. She goes to work and does homework also. Maddie loves to hang out with her friends and go to the play. Her favorite class at Newport Harbor is Marine Science with Mr. Johnson because he's a great teacher and super funny. Maddie's favorite memory at Newport Harbor is when we almost won Battle Bay. Her favorite thing about Newport Harbor is how she's been able to make so many bonds with many different teachers. Our final senior princess is Samantha Lopez. Samantha is being escorted by her stepfather, Rogelia Claw. Her favorite class is Avid because it helps her get through the hard challenges she faced during high school. Sam would never change that class for anything in the world. Her favorite memory at Harbor was at one of the football games. Sam made a huge poster with the NHHS helmet and a friend's number on it. She will never forget the night he hugged her and was so grateful. Her favorite thing at Newport would be the event. She loves how students have the opportunity to participate and have fun during the events. Now for some fun, let's welcome the dance team!
And I heard your heart beating here in the darkness too. So I stayed in the darkness with you.
Wow, thank you, Dan. That was amazing. Now, let's give it up for marching band.
What's up, Alex? Good to see you.
Alex, how you doing, buddy? Where's the video, rock video coming out? Yeah, he's right here. All right. Being set. Yeah. Go down. I'm still working up the bill, actually.
Unlock this door, the key of imagination. Beyond it is another
Yeah, no worries.
dimension.
Glad it worked out. Yeah, the star of the
A
video is
dimension
right over here.
not only of sight and sound, but of mind. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Time is running short. The walls are closing in. Escaping an endless sea of hallways. You could be the next permanent guest of the Twilight Zone. This particular hotel.
Thank you, man. Now let's give it up for Peppa Pog.
the young ones in the home. You got to leave them.
Welcome back into TarTV. Alex Crawford, Howard Kroom, and Taryn Rodriguez here with you. Halftime, Sailors lead 31-20. Taryn, you cover the Sailors, you cover Sunset League football. What did you see out of Newport Harbor that you liked in the first half?
Everything pretty much went well for them outside of that interception. They just got to run their offense to a T, and they have to limit their mistakes. Huntington Beach is going to come out fired up, ready in the second half. And the second half has kind of been their house of horrors, so they have to maintain the lead. They cannot shoot themselves in the foot with penalties. I saw a personal foul which could have forced a Huntington Beach punt, but they have to put pressure on them without making silly penalties, because this Huntington Beach offense is good. They have not turned the ball over yet, and Huntington Beach is a solid team, so they have to level it to a T, and they have to make sure they put everything into motion and into perfection.
Well, Taryn, you're a guy that covers the entire Sunset League. So tell me, do we have an opportunity this year to get a CIF title at any level? What do we look like for the playoffs in terms of Sunset League teams? What do you think?
Well, for Newport Harbor, I think they are definitely a playoff caliber team, and they do have a chance at a CIF championship. Their schedule is very tough and has toughened them in terms of like sharpening their skills, and I think you learn a lot more from losses than you do from wins, because you look at the 2 wins for Newport Harbor, it was one-sided. This game is very competitive, and whether Newport Harbor wins, knock on wood for you Sailor fans, or they somehow lose, I think they could take a lot away from this game going into next weekend in Battle of the Bay, and then the following week against Los Al. And who knows? This win could propel them into the postseason, because this is a big-time win if they manage to get it. Huntington Beach is a very talented opponent.
Okay, before we let you go, Taryn, prediction, how's this thing going to end?
Give me 45 to 41, Newport Harbor.
45-41, Newport Harbor. Tanner Muir brings the kickoff up the field, and second half's underway. Taryn Rodriguez, follow him on Twitter at Taryn Rodriguez1. Does great work covering local high school sports for Sunset Rewind and for various other outlets. Thanks for joining us, Taryn.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, second half underway. 45-41, the prediction from Taryn Rodriguez. We'll find out if it was a guess or a prophecy here in the second half. Good crowd on hand. Great night for football at Davidson Field. The bright lights of Newport Center Drive and Fashion Island twinkle in the distance. Tar Pits rocking. Michaela Cotton is your new homecoming queen. And Peyton Irving takes the handoff, breaks 2 tackles, and picks up 5 yards on first down. 7 carries, 57 yards. And a touchdown on the ground for Irving in the first half. Also added a receiving touchdown to that as well.
Huge night in the first half already. Keeping it going on first down for the Sailors, breaking a couple of tackles, doing a lot by himself, even though he's getting great blocking up front.
Yeah, shout out to that Newport Harbor offensive line. From the bottom of your screen to the top, Nate Peters, Emilio Marquez, Brody Bradfield, Makai Sagayao, and Grayson Simon. And I heard Brody Bradfield's grandparents are watching somewhere, so shout out to them. Quick pass out to Lamarque, and he's met immediately by Jordan Castro, driven out of bounds for no gain. Actually a loss on the play, and that brings up third down and long for Newport.
Haven't seen a ton of those quick screens since the first few games of the year. Harbor's kind of adjusted some stuff with their offense. I know they had guys banged up early, but we don't see a lot of those quick screens anymore. But Harbor rewinding the clock a little bit, trying their hand at it.
A.J. Gutron-Moore getting the start tonight. Starter on JV last season, the senior. Opened the year as the third stringer. Takes a snap and rolls out to the far side of the field. Fires it on the run to Zamora, who leaps forward. That should be enough for a first.
Harbor's done good with that play. Looks like they mark him a little short of the first.
No, there we go.
They're moving the chains.
I was going to say, reward that hustle.
But Harbor's done good with that play. When they're in the middle of the field or on the left hash, they like to run A.J. Gutron-Moore on a rollout. Get some guys coming across the field, running in front of them. A lot of options. It's a good play call by the Sailors.
10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Gutron Moore's got 3 receivers to the far side of the field. It's a handoff, outside run to Irving, who cuts it back. Picks up a couple yards. And much like the retired Justin McCoy, who stands down on the sideline with some other Newport football alums, Irving almost always makes the first guy miss.
Always, and if the guy doesn't miss, he's going to bounce off because an arm tackle doesn't work with Peyton Irving. But they only gave the Sailors a yard on that play, even though it felt like Irving ran forever. He was going east and west for a lot of that run.
Second down and 9. Lamarque comes in motion. Play action to Irving, pass into the backfield to Lamarque. And he's wrapped up and tackled. That was Henry Eddy, who got him around the ankle for no gain, and a big third down upcoming, opening drive of the second half.
We've seen that motion a million times from the Sailors tonight. That was the first time we actually saw the motion man get the ball. And the senior right tackle, Grayson Simon, walks off the field, kind of limping a little bit. We've got a replacement coming in, David Flores. Haven't seen a ton of Flores, so he gets some snaps tonight.
Well, the Flores twins, sophomores, are sort of the future of this Newport Harbor offensive line. Rachel Cassis, the Sailors trainer, going to tend to Grayson Simon on the sideline. Big third down, Moore, pass, airs it out long. Oh! Lamarque had a step on Jordan Castro. Gutron Moore, I think he'd like a redo on that one. So we'll get another look at the Sailors' defense as Noe Avalos sprints on to punt this thing away. I know we don't have replay here on TarTV, but Avalos had a beautiful punt in the first quarter.
He had too many punts in the first half for the Sailors. First quarter, early on in the second quarter, which feels like the second quarter lasted an hour.
Probably did. It's getting late here on Irvine Avenue. Avalos gets the punt off. Bounces at the 30 and rolls down to the 26-yard line.
That was a 3 and out by the Oilers, right?
No, they got
Peyton Irving.
Zach Zamora.
But still a good defensive possession to start the half. And let's see if this offense of the Oilers is still on fire, still feeling good about themselves.
Hideo Ray had just under 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdown catches in the second quarter alone. He has been the entirety of the Oilers' offense, but if they can get something going, if they can go from 1 to 2-dimensional at the very least, they are right back in this game.
I see 2 defenders lined up over Hideo Ray.
A.J. Perez rolls out, now stops, throws it over the middle. It's tipped, and it's broken up by Garrett Emerson, a ball hawk. Dapped up by Carson D'Avila, incomplete. Beautiful PBU by the junior DB.
Curious throw by A.J. Perez trying to jam it into, I think that was Caleb Kelly, the big receiver for the Oilers. But it looked like Harbor was double teaming Hideo Ray on that last play. Had a guy pressed and a safety backing up the pressed man.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. 8 minutes, 2 seconds to play in the third quarter. Senior quarterback A.J. Perez pressured up the middle by Jerzyk. Escapes it. He's just got to dump this one off. Thought it might have been in the area of intentional grounding. A.J. Perez was running for dear life. Carlone, Cam Danoon, and Jacob Jerzyk making life miserable for the senior.
Well, the offense has remained one-dimensional for the Oilers. Not just exclusively pass, but exclusively looking for Ray. 2 plays in a row, he had nothing. And the pressure was coming quick for A.J. Perez.
Big third down. Sailors' offense sputtered on the previous drive to open up the half. Let's see if the defense can give them the ball back. That's Jordan Castro, the receiver at the bottom of the screen. Chenier brings pressure on the edge. Perez airs it out long, incomplete. Tyler Moses laying out for it at the 40-yard line. Billy Ridley in coverage. 4th down.
Moses had a chance, slim chance, but he tried to lay out for it. That would have been an incredible catch. That's a huge 3 and out by the Sailors. This is a back and forth game. You see great defensive play, then you see dominant offensive play. Two very similar teams here.
Josiah Lamarque, so electric, dynamic, explosive, shifty, return man. Sailors bring the house again. Moses gets it off. And it's going to roll down inside the 35 where it will be downed by Huntington Beach, and the Sailors are right back on offense. So Newport Harbor's defense answers the call. Let's give the offense another look. Touchdowns tonight and every night brought to you by Original Pizza. That's the place to be this weekend, the official after-party spot of the 91st/90th anniversary party of Newport Harbor High School. It's the 91st anniversary of the school, but this 90th anniversary party was supposed to take place last year. Something called COVID happened, pushed that back. So doing it all this year. And Original Pizza on Irvine Avenue is your place to watch the game. And hey, my dad's here. Told you the whole community coming out. This is my dad's first Sailor game of the year. I see him walking in now. 1st and 10, handoff to Irving. Finds daylight over the middle. Peyton Irving off to the races across the 40-yard line. Finally tackled from behind. What a game for the junior. He is eating tonight.
Where would the Sailors be if not for Peyton Irving's legs? But again, the center, the right guard, the left guard, these guys are making holes. And Peyton Irving's not being touched until 5 yards deep, and that first guy's not bringing him down.
I know Mikasa provided the team dinner, but Peyton Irving is hungry out there tonight. And shout out to Mikasa because I heard it was a great team dinner from some of the parents. 1st down and 10. Hayden Farley takes a handoff. He makes a guy miss, and then he's tackled after a 5-yard gain. That was Joe Carroll, senior defensive end on the stop for Huntington Beach. He checks out, and Irving goes right back to the tailback position.
It's been the run game tonight. Even Hayden Farley picking up some yards. I bet the Sailors go right back to the ground game, right back to Peyton Irving on this play. If not a handoff, some kind of a swing pass.
2nd down and 7. About halfway through the 3rd quarter. Henjum in motion. Handoff to Irving. And another Newport Harbor Sailor 1st down. Straight into the gut of the HB defense. Peyton Irving punching him right in the solar plexus.
Yeah, that interior line, we just can't say enough good things about him tonight.
With that run, Peyton Irving goes over 100 yards, 107 on the night. Shout out to Andrew Turner of the Daily Pilot, keeping stats over here to my right. Oilers show pressure, 1st down and 10. Sailors on the 20-yard line. It's Irving again. Why not? Here he goes. And he's into the end zone for 6. Peyton Irving, 127 yards on the ground. And not one, not 2, but 3 touchdowns tonight. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. What a party on the grass at Davidson for the Sailors junior running back. 37-20, your score.
I'm a little surprised to see the way it's gone. The Sailors looking so dominant, but as I sit back and think about it, both sides, the Sailors defense and the Sailors offensive line, have absolutely controlled this game because Huntington Beach can't get anything going on offense because A.J. Perez is constantly under pressure. Their running game is non-existent. So that's the D-line taking the Huntington Beach offense totally out of it. And then the offensive line creating tons of running room for Peyton Irving. I mean, the game has been won by Harbor in the trenches tonight.
PA announcer Greg Kennedy, he says Peyton Irving, 200 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns. Certainly going to make it onto our top player performances in the Sunset League on Sunset Rewind. John Richardson set to kick off for the Sailors. Tight end over end kick. Fielded one step out of the end zone by Hideo Ray and then 1 foot in the end zone. So that's a touch back for the Oilers. First down and 10. They'll have it on the 20. Howard, if Huntington Beach can't get points here, if they can't put a sustained drive together, I'm afraid they're on life support for this game.
Absolutely. 18-point deficit. Getting late in the third quarter. It hasn't looked good consistently tonight. So Huntington Beach, they've got to get something going here. I'd love to see them establish the run, but we know they're not going to. Got to find a way to get Hideo Ray the ball.
First down and 10 from the 20. Sailors have Battle of the Bay next Friday. That's going to be really fun. Sailors are the home team there. And then Newport goes on the road for their toughest game of the season against Los Alamitos to close out the season. So about a quarter and a half of football left here, and then 2 more games. A.J. Perez on first down. Connor Chenier's got him in his sights and throws him on the grass. Sack.
The game's been won in the trenches. The D linemen, the linebackers, the front 7, they've just made it impossible for Huntington Beach. A.J. Perez, he's looking downfield. By the time he sees the blitz coming, it's too late. Just can't operate as a quarterback under that kind of pressure.
After the sack, it's second down and 15. Perez throws far side of the field. Caught by Moses, wrapped up around the feet. And then gang tackle. Johnny Chex finished him off. Johnny Chex is the kind of guy, he finishes plays. He finishes tackles. He's really been a spark defensively. We talk about A.J. Goutron-Moore being a spark offensively for this team. Johnny Chex has really become a leader on defense.
Well, I don't know where this fire came from out of these Sailors defenders. They were just playing physical, flying all over the field tonight. It looks like a totally different defense.
Third down and 13. 3 receivers bottom of your screen for HB. Perez pressured, sacked again. Connor Chenier again. Sack City. Population number 7.
A.J. Perez frustrated, walking off the field, knows that he never had a chance.
Well, right now, Howard, it's really dangerous territory. Tyler Moses, punting for Huntington Beach, stands in his own end zone. Sailors blocked 2 punts in the first quarter, scored a touchdown on one of those. It's a high snap. Sailors don't bring much pressure, and Moses is able to get the punt off. Lamarque watches it bounce, elects not to pick it up, and it'll be down right at the 50-yard line.
Well, now I'm starting to see who this Harbor team is. I'm starting to believe in the identity right now. They're a team that gets after it. The front 7's putting a ton of pressure on you. Still have an ability to get ran by a little bit in the defensive backfield, but that's why this front 7 is so important. And huge opportunity for the Sailors offense here to break this thing open, make it a blowout.
38-20, Newport Harbor leads. Big thanks to everybody joining us on TarTV. It's homecoming. Great crowd here at Davidson Field for the 91st anniversary of Newport Harbor High School and the 91st meeting between these two squads. Lamarque in motion. They hand it off to Irving. Finds some room on the outside. Cuts it back across the 40-yard line. Joe Carroll makes the tackle for HB, but tally 5 more yards to the already 200-plus all-purpose yards for Mr. Peyton Irving.
I was going to say right before the play, who you think's getting the ball on first down? Same guy who's gotten it almost every play on offense since the second quarter started.
Second down and 5, 3 minutes to play in the third. Tar Pit singing along to YMCA. And A.J. Goutron-Moore stands in the pistol. Lamarque, the receiver, at the bottom of your screen. Sailors in HB territory. Again, it's Irving. And again, it's 4 more yards. He's just gashing this defense. And at this point, Howard, you've played in a lot of Well, you've played in infinitely more football games than me, but you have to assume that this defensive line, this front seven, is pretty winded at this point, the way the Sailors are pushing them around.
Well, it's just been a dominant performance. I mean, it started out a little bit slow, but getting a score here, that would just cement how the Sailors are feeling, how they're playing today.
3rd down and 3. Irving, again, cuts it back outside, working the sideline. And he's in the end zone for 6, but there's a flag down at the 40. I'm going to temper my excitement. I think that one's coming back. Oh, but how about Peyton Irving walking the tightrope there?
Well, the wide receiver held on the outside, and it looked like a hold that didn't have to happen. I think Peyton Irving would have got around the edge anyway. Tough call.
That's going to take back the Peyton Irving touchdown. This is the second time this game we've had a touchdown called back for the Sailors on a penalty. One TD pass from Guttron Moore to Lamarque, and now a beautiful 41-yard Peyton Irving run.
You take a touchdown off the board on a 3rd and 3, make it 3rd and 13. Changes the feeling a little bit for the Sailors.
So a touchdown turns into 3rd down and 12, and the ball all the way back on the 50-yard line. Guttron Moore pressured up the middle. Flag comes in. Irving catches it in the backfield, and then he's tackled way, way, way beyond the sticks. And it's going to be another hold against the Sailors. They are marching the wrong way. And now, Noe Avalos will jog back on the field and punt. HB, they've still got a little bit of life in them. Down 18, final 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Still a 4th quarter to play. If you're Coach Brett Brown's squad, this is the drive. We have to put something together.
Well, those penalties will serve as life support for Huntington Beach. They can get the ball here. If they put up a touchdown, they feel like they're right back in the game, but they've got to find some consistency on offense.
Leo Davis sprints on the field. Avalos ready to punt. High snap, grabs it, gets it off. Really beautiful punt. Oh, my goodness. He kissed the sky with that one. Castro fields it at the 15-yard line. Gets a couple yards and then meets a wall of Sailors defenders. Tanner Muir, the first one there. And with 69 seconds to go until the start of the 4th quarter, we will get another look at an HB offense that has been held scoreless here in the 2nd half. Hideo Ray had 2 big touchdown catches in the 2nd quarter, but in the 3rd, Newport Harbor back to pitching a shutout.
Let's see if this defensive line and these linebackers can get to Perez again. Connor Chenier has been a menace. Jacob Carlone causing a lot of trouble.
2 sacks for Chenier on that last possession. Perez throws, caught by Moses. Nice stiff arm by the senior. Now he's dragging Carson Diavolo and Billy Ridley with them out of bounds. 18 yards on 1st down, and that's the kind of Oilers offense we were expecting to see tonight, Howard.
Moses, he's a big guy. That's why I'd love to see him get the ball a little bit more in space. He gives a defensive back a stiff arm, and the guy goes down because Moses is just too big and physical as a runner.
Someone for the Sailors is down on their back being tended to by the trainer, Rachel Cassis, on the far side of the field. So we'll let you know who that is. As I brought up earlier, heard a lot of good things about the team dinner. So shout out to Mi Casa, located on 17th Street in Costa Mesa, providing team dinner tonight for the Sailors, and certainly fueled them up and got them ready to rock and roll on homecoming. 38 points heading into the 4th quarter. So shout out to Mi Casa. Thank you for providing team dinner tonight. And a big thanks to our other amazing 12-star sponsors, of course, Original Pizza, as well as CT Realty, GoldenCom. If your website's not working as hard as you want it to, check out GoldenCom. They will get you right. Arbor Real Estate, Balboa Boat Yard. If you have a boat that needs repairs, someday I'd like to be in that situation.
That's the plan. That's the plan for all of us one day.
But for now, I just thank Balboa Boatyard for being a 12 Tar sponsor. If you need a new ride, check out Newport Lexus, one of the finest dealerships in all of the world, really. They have a putting green over there at Newport Lexus.
Why wouldn't they?
Newport Advisory, Slater Builders, and Sunset Rewind. First down and 10 for the Oilers on their own 42. 3 receivers split out far side of the field for Perez. Time to throw. Surveying. Now running. Chenier's got him from behind and drags him down. He picked up a couple yards, but that did not look fun. Chenier had him around the ankle, and Chex finished him off. That's a 1-2 punch that's been mighty effective tonight for the Sailors defense.
And Perez is taking some punishment. Looks like he's coming up a little gimpy. He's a tough kid, though, so he'll shake it off. But it had to feel good for him to get time to look downfield, even though he couldn't find anything open.
Former Sailors wide receiver James Kroll in the building, wearing his Letterman, hugging some parents. This might be the last play of the third quarter. Perez, pass, pressured, pump fakes, somehow still has time. He completes it. And that's enough for a first down. It was completed to Carson Jones, and a flag is down in the defensive backfield. Pink flag threw me off a little bit. Obviously, the Sailors wearing
looks like
pink tonight for breast cancer awareness.
Looks like they signaled it against Huntington Beach, but what could it be? It was a weird scramble by Perez, so there could have been some holding in the defensive backfield, but like I said, it looks like it was against the Oilers.
Well, that was the last play of the third quarter, but it was a defensive penalty. They'll play one more down. It's against the Oilers. It's declined. And we head to the fourth quarter. Okay, after sorting that out, we head to the fourth quarter. Sailors in control, but Huntington Beach on the move. 38-20, your score. Fourth quarter awaits when we come back. It's homecoming. Newport Harbor, Huntington Beach on TarTV. Welcome back into TarTV. Headed to the fourth quarter. Newport Harbor in control. HB on life support. They need points on this drive. First down and 10 Oilers. Ball in Sailors territory. 12 minutes to play. Diavola blitzes. He's chasing down Perez from behind. And AJ threads the needle to Carson Jones for a modest gain. Shout out to AJ Perez for sticking with that one. It's not a fun feeling to have Sailors junior safety Carson Diavola bearing down on you from behind, because he is a guy that likes to lay the lumber.
Well, every game Carson Diavola finds a way to make a huge hit. He's always going to make his presence felt.
Second down and 7 after the completion to Carson Jones. AJ Perez has taken some hits tonight. Came up gimpy on an earlier play. He looks all right now. Sailors bring the pressure. It's a screen to Riederick. Gets behind some blockers and picks up the first down. First down Oilers. Cutting into Sailors territory.
The Oilers, they better keep going and go quick. It's a 3-possession game. Offense starting to click a little bit. Starting to look like something for the Oilers, but not a lot of game left for them to get going.
First down and 10 after the E.J. Riederick screen. HB needing an answer. They were held scoreless in the third. Perez has Riederick in the backfield. And it's a play-action pass. And then it's complete to Jordan Castro. And for the first time in a long time, starting to feel a little bit of life and rhythm coming back to this Oilers offense.
And that's because A.J. Perez is getting time to throw the ball. He's not on the run. He's not feeling people in his lap as soon as the ball snapped. And when he has time, he can pick you apart.
Second down and 5. Two receivers either side for the senior quarterback, A.J. Perez. Pressured around the edge, throws it long and overthrows Jordan Castro. Diavola in coverage. It's third down and 5 for HB.
And they are blowing some kind of smoke or steam O's out of a cannon. I've never seen that.
Newport Harbor ASB, they've got a steam cannon?
They spare no expense to get the crowd going out here at Newport Harbor.
Tar Pit's been live tonight. Third down and 5 for the Oilers. Can A.J. Perez bring his team back? Diavola blitzes. Perez tries to thread the needle. Billy Ridley says no.
That's great defense by Billy Ridley. He closed on the ball, knew what route was coming. Got an emphatic pass breakup on Tyler Moses, who's a big guy and runs good routes.
I was going to say, that's a tough assignment for Billy Ridley. Tyler Moses is thick. HB hurrying up. They're going to go for it. Fourth down and 5.
That's a false start by the quarterback.
And no one blows any whistles. I think you thought A.J. Perez jumped. Now a timeout by Brett Brown.
Well, A.J. Perez did have a false start, and the defensive lineman jumped into the neutral zone. And I think because they didn't call it on A.J. Perez, they let the defensive lineman jump into the neutral zone.
I think the officials just said, okay, we're not going to throw a flag there. And now Brett Brown takes a timeout. Fourth down and 5. Huge play here for Huntington Beach. If they don't get this first down, Sailors can really eat up clock on the ground on offense. And an 18-point lead with under 9 minutes to play. I'm sorry, I just don't see the Oilers coming back if they can't find the end zone here.
Absolutely not. They'll need onside kicks. They'll need a pick six, a fumble, scoop, and score. You're just asking for too much. They still need one of those things, I bet. Still need a defensive turnover or something, even if the Oilers find a way to score here. So huge possession, huge play coming up here on 4th and 5.
Tomorrow, if you're watching at home, come to the high school tomorrow. Homecoming Open House Festival, noon to 3. Battle of the alumni bands. Which decade will win? Walter Etc. from the 2010s at noon. The Milestones from the 70s at 1 p.m. Or the Fireside Chats from the 90s at 2 p.m. Come on out, cheer for your favorite. I'll be there all afternoon long. Then Honk is playing in the evening. They're screening the Tower documentary at 11 a.m. in the theater. Go to newportharboralumni.org to buy tickets. 4th down and 5. And the Sailors get whistled for offsides. Crucial play for Huntington Beach, and the Sailors make an untimely mistake. Automatic first down for the Oilers, so they're not done yet.
And that's a mental mistake right there. If there's still so far to go for Huntington Beach. So much has to go right for them if they're going to come back. But it could get sparked by little mental mistakes like that.
First down and 10, 9:48 to play in the game. Oilers in the red zone. Held scoreless since the second quarter. Now more whistles on the official. Signaling to Dan Prinsato up here. Running the scoreboard to run the clock. First down and 10 from the 19. Perez Throws over the middle. Tyler Moses, touchdown. Right on the money, and just what the doctor ordered for Huntington Beach. Don't put the coffin in the ground yet. 38-26, extra point pending, 9:28 to go.
Do you go for it right now? Not yet. If you're Huntington Beach. I was thinking, do you go for 2 and make it a 10-point game? But they can still do that when they score next time.
Looks like they'll just go for the point after touchdown.
Well, that was a strong route, a post route, one-on-one coverage by Tyler Moses. Had to fight through a little bit of contact at the top of the route by Billy Ridley. Just a great throw and catch. A.J. Perez stayed in the pocket, had time, looked comfortable. I thought he might have took off and run, but he trusted his receiver for the big touchdown.
Tyler Moses grabs his second touchdown of the evening. He got a 6-yarder from Perez in the first quarter. Now in the fourth, after being shut out in the third quarter, HB on the board. 19 yards, A.J. Perez to Tyler Moses. Sailors clinging to an 11-point lead. Big opportunity here, Howard, for the offense to come back out on the field, assert themselves, take control of this game, chew clock, hand the ball to Peyton Irving. It's a big opportunity right now for the Sailors offense.
Well, a 3-and-out would be deadly, would be terrible for the Sailors offense. So would some kind of a run-through on first down as we see a squib kick by Huntington Beach.
Oh, Leo Davis breaks a couple tackles and negates what HB was trying to do. Heady play by number 37. Sailors have a great field position. Hey, you want to talk about field position battle tonight? Sailors have won that through and through, and that's why they're winning this game.
That's exactly why they're winning the game. Excellent special teams play by the Sailors. Josiah Lamarque, some big returns. We see a return there on the squib kick. Things I'm thinking about, if you're Huntington Beach, you cannot have a penalty. Any penalty puts the other team into your territory.
Hayden Farley in the backfield with A.J. Gutron Moore. They hand it off to Farley. Patient run, goes right, left. Then he stopped. Forward progress gives him 3 yards. And the clock ticks down, under 9 minutes to play in this game. Newport Harbor leading by 11.
Newport Harbor going to let the play clock run all the way down. Huntington Beach, they want to get a stop here on second down. Don't even let Harbor get any yards. Guarantee yourself a 3rd and long.
2nd down and 8. Irving, handoff. Hits the hole hard, then wrapped up around the ankles and tackled by E.J. Riederick. And here we go. 3rd down and about 6.
Well, if that wasn't E.J. Riederick, Peyton Irving's running through that tackle, might still be running as we speak.
Kudos to E.J. Riederick. I would not want to face Peyton Irving running at me full steam ahead.
I don't think anybody does.
8 minutes to play, 3rd down and 6. Sailors don't want to go 3 and out. Give the ball back to an HB offense that just drove the length of the field and scored. Gutron Moore airs it out. Zamora can't quite get there. Eli Anderson in coverage. And Sailors, Howard, they do what you said they couldn't do. They go 3 and out.
Now it's on this Huntington Beach offense. Do they have a quick drive in them? Can they get down the field in 2.5, 3 minutes? Because remember, you still got to give the ball back to Harbor, get another stop, and then find a way to go on another drive. So you get what you want. You get a 3 and out if you're Huntington Beach, and you still have life.
Low snap. Avalos picks it up and able to get the punt off. It's going to be returned by Castro. He's got nowhere to go. Zach Zamora, textbook tackle, bear hugs him.
If Harbor hangs on to win this game, they're going to feel very fortunate. They're going to feel good about themselves. But even more so, Huntington Beach is going to feel like, boy, did we give one away. So many opportunities, so many penalties, blocked punts, sacks. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game.
If you're watching at home and you didn't make it out to Davidson tonight, don't worry. You can still join the party. Homecoming after party going down tonight at Original Pizza on Irvine Avenue. Also, touchdown sponsor for tonight's game. I might have to stop by for a slice, Howard.
Well, if you do, be prepared for there to be a bunch of Sailor alumni rocking, having fun, eating pizza, telling old stories.
That's what this weekend's all about.
It's a good time down at Original Pizza.
The Newport Harbor Alumni Association doing a great job with this weekend. NewportHarborAlumni.org. Check it out. Jordan Castro has to be helped off the field, not putting very much weight on that right leg. He's an important piece of this Huntington Beach defense, so we hope to see him back out on the field.
Been a reliable receiver for the Oilers as well. Big part of what they do. But I expect to see some Hideo Ray, Tyler Moses on this drive. And really, E.J. Riedrich was a big part. Getting the ball out the backfield, a couple of screen plays. A big part of the success of the Huntington Beach offense this quarter.
C.J. Taylor in the backfield with A.J. Perez. Huge drive. Oilers trying to come back. They were down 18. They're now down 11. 7:46 to play in this game. Let's see if the senior quarterback, the captain, the leader, A.J. Perez can engineer something here. He's trying to buy time with his legs. He loses the football. Tanner Muir initiated the contact there. It's recovered by the Oilers.
Well, Perez has gotten time. He's gotten some blocking up front on the last few possessions, but just getting coverage sacks. So good job by Billy Ridley, Johnny Checks, Andrew Chenier, these guys in the defensive backfield, to Carson Diavola for doing their part.
Second down 11. 7 minutes to play. Perez, pass. It's complete to Brandon Kasha, tackled shy of the 30-yard line, but he picks up about 10 yards. Needed 11 for the first.
And Kasha with the cramp.
So Brandon Kasha cramping up after the catch. It will be 3rd down and 1. Cashton Henjum on the tackle for Newport Harbor.
It's a critical moment for Huntington Beach. 3rd down and 1. Do you keep the ball on the ground? Do you do a quick out? That out route has been real critical for the Oilers. Timing, just 3 steps, and A.J. Perez lets the ball go. It's right on the receiver by the time they get out of their break. That might be the best option here on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
Huge play. Newport Harbor trying to string 2 wins together the first time this season. They won the 2nd game of the year against Marina, and they blew out Fountain Valley last week. 2-5 on the year, but if the Sailors win tonight, it's 2 wins in a row, and they head into next Friday's matchup, the Battle of the Bay, one of the best rivalries in Southern California high school football. Will be right here at Davidson, and the Sailors would really believe in themselves if they came away victorious tonight. Meanwhile, Huntington Beach, they believe if they win this game, they're in the playoffs. So a lot riding on this game and a lot riding on this play. 3rd down and 1 for the Oilers, 6:46 to play. 3 receivers, far side of the field for senior quarterback A.J. Perez. Connor Chenier shows blitz. He comes. It's tipped. It's intercepted by Garrett Emerson. Right place, right time. And a play that might come to define this season for both teams. Huntington Beach turns it over Sailors get the stop, they get the ball back, and they got a short field to work with 6:32 to play.
Well, that should be game over right there for Huntington Beach and the Sailors. A.J. Perez, the quick pass. We knew it was going to be a quick, easy pass, and it was to Carson Jones, but it just floated a little bit on A.J. Perez. It got away from him, hit Jones in the hands. And as we say here on TarTV, tip balls are pick balls. And we see it again.
Sailors back on offense with a chance to put the nail in the coffin, lower the coffin in the ground, and throw dirt on it. Guttron Moore takes the snap, hands it off to Irving, who stumbles across the 25-yard line, picks up 5 yards, and continues his stellar night.
And he's gonna put the nail in the coffin here. I bet you Peyton Irving gets another touchdown. Then it's going to feel like a dominant win for the Sailors, putting up 40-something points against a formidable opponent.
200 yards of all-purpose yardage. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air for Sailors junior running back Peyton Irving. Will he put a cherry on top of his performance here? He gets the call, and he's gang tackled by the Oilers. Nothing doing on that one. Clock continues to run. 5:40 to play. 3rd down and 6.
And you know Huntington Beach, they're just so frustrated. All these opportunities that they gave away, including that interception. That wasn't anything that Harbor did to put pressure on them or make it tough. That was just a lack of execution.
3rd down and 6. 5:15 to play. Starnes in motion. Guttron Moore, it's a screen, and he throws it away. Skips off the dirt into the hands of the Huntington Beach defender, but it's incomplete. Now it's 4th down with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to play.
And if this is another 3 and out by the Oilers, that's great. But you look at the film and say, dang, 2 3 and outs in a row late in the 4th quarter, but too little too late.
And Howard, I just got to look around Davidson Field here, and what a production that goes on. ASB's having a rave. The band is playing amazing music. You got a million cheerleaders, song leaders, dance team. It's really quite a production, so shout out to everyone who makes that possible.
Well, we got the band playing music. ASB has a DJ.
It's crazy. Huge play here. Sailors going for it. 4th down and 6. In control of this game. They throw a fade. It's caught. Touchdown, Sailors. Josiah Lamarque. Boogie from A.J. Guttron Moore. 4th and 6. Punch it in. Game over.
You love to see the success, the offensive execution. Guttron Moore knew exactly what he wanted when the ball was snapped. It was one-on-one coverage. Josiah Lamarque had a step on his guy. And Guttron Moore dropped it right in where only the receiver could get it. It's a perfect throw and catch.
Extra point by Richardson, up and good.
This is the Harbor team that I thought we would see this season. Beating people 45-27, putting up a bunch of points, looking capable. This is the team I thought we were going to see, and we haven't even seen an explosive night by Cashin Hingham.
No, he's had a quiet night.
And that just tells you the options, the talent that is on this team and that can produce when necessary.
A.J. Guttron Moore, well, I say he has a quiet night. He does have a 7-yard touchdown catch, but that's
quiet for Cash.
That's quiet for Cash. Coming into tonight's game, he was up over 40 receptions, around 600 yards receiving. So, quiet night by Cash Money standards. But how about A.J. Guttron Moore slinging the rock, connecting on 3 different touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Irving in the first quarter, Cash in the second, and now Josiah Lamarque to wrap things up with 4:57 to play in the 4th.
Well, shout out to A.J. Gutron-Moore. You know this feels great. A guy that's been in this football program for a long time, getting the start in a crucial game, homecoming at home, 91st anniversary. It's a big opportunity for him.
Hideo Ray going to return it for Huntington Beach. He's got a lot of grass on the far side of the field. Now stiff arming and shoved out of bounds by Leo Davis. 45-27, 4:49 to play. Sailors back at home next Friday. Biggest game of the season.
We've got another player down for the Sailors. Looks like cramps all night long.
Get these guys some bananas, huh?
And somebody, one of his teammates serving as a honorary trainer trying to get a calf stretch. That looks like Garrett Emerson.
Oh, maybe a future in kinesiology for the junior defensive back.
I think all it was he was putting his muscles to use, trying to stretch that cramp out of the calf.
It's a long game, Howard.
It is a long game. We've seen some football games in the Sunset League end about 9-10. We've still got 5 minutes left here, about 9:42 already, so you never know. A lot of stop and go tonight, but also a lot of back and forth. A lot of touchdowns scored. I don't think anybody had the over-under at 75, so.
No, this was a game that we had circled as a really intriguing matchup. A must-win game for both teams. Huntington Beach saying, we win this, we're in the playoffs, we control our destiny. Sailors saying, if we don't win this, the season's effectively over. Carson Diavolo, the cramping player, now walking backwards. He's good to go. So this is a really intriguing game. Two similar teams. You know, you've got some tiers this season in the Sunset League. You got Los Al at the top, Edison right below them. Kind of a Los Al, Edison CDM. And you got Newport Huntington.
But Newport hadn't really shown that they should be in that tier. It was really looking like Huntington alone and then Newport Fountain Valley down at 1-5. So,
and I know the Sailors coaching staff and players would wince to hear that, but that's the way things were going.
But 2 weeks later, totally different situation.
Perez gets it to Tyler Moses, and he's still on his feet. No, they're going to say he was down. He didn't think he was.
Honestly, I can't believe the way that this run game has gotten going for the Sailors, because we've heard Coach Brown tell us all season about when his team is finding success, it's usually off of their defense. Eli Anderson, Nate Tawanuu, Hagedorn, E.J. Riedrich, all these guys that make it tough, make it impossible for you to run, but not tonight. The Sailors had an answer for everything Huntington Beach threw at them.
2nd down and 5. After the Tyler Moses reception, A.J. Perez stands in the pistol. Riedrich goes out of the backfield. Perez surveys his options. Tight spiral, airs it out long. And that's incomplete. Tyler Moses is trying to sell that he caught it, but I did see that bounce off the turf.
But they fooled the chain gang. They fooled everybody for Huntington Beach. HB thought that was a catch, but it clearly from way over here we could see it bounce off the turf.
Moses kind of shielded the sideline from seeing him trap it against the ground. We were able to see that it bobbled. That was incomplete. Officials making the correct call. And that leads us to 3rd down and 4 for this Oilers offense that has put up big plays and then sputtered at times. Really a tale of two offenses for Huntington Beach. 3rd down and 4. Perez looking, still on his feet, and that's a coverage sack. He had nowhere to go with it, and he shoved out of bounds.
Well, we've seen a lot of those coverage sacks from Huntington Beach. It's due to the same reason why we saw a lot of actual sacks early in the game, which are the routes from their receivers take a long time to develop. And there's often not a guy that's a check down, so it's all or nothing for the Oilers offense.
I think it was Leonard Ost shoving Perez out of bounds there. Want to give him credit. HB, they got to go for it. Perez throws it long. Oh, incomplete. Jordan Castro had it in his mitts. McKay Ketchum, Cashton Henjum, and Billy Ridley in coverage for the Sailors. Newport gets the ball back, 3 minutes to play.
Well, I have a feeling that this game, as well as this season for Huntington Beach, is going to feel like what could have been. Early on in the year, Huntington Beach gave up 28 points in the fourth quarter of a game that they were about to win. That's a loss that you don't think should have been a loss. Another game, Huntington Beach gave up 14 points in the fourth quarter on a game they were going to win. A couple of losses here that are just, you just cringe if you're an Oiler faithful, because
Totally.
man, there were opportunities.
Totally. And a senior, heavy, experienced team, senior quarterback. Tough year for the Oilers. First down and 10, handoff to Irving, pinballing around and diving forward for a 5-yard gain.
Irving's sidestep and his ability to knife through the defense and pick up not just the extra one, it's like an extra 3 or 4. He's got that stuff down.
Second down and 5, clock ticks down, 2:30 to play. You know what I love about the ASB dance party rave down here is I think half the time they're not even watching the game, they're just having a party. And it really looks like a fun time. Handoff to Irving again, and he runs in to a wall of Oilers. Joe Carroll with the tackle. 2:05 to play. Third down and 6.
It's been a long game. It's been a
very
back
long
and forth game. Hasn't been boring at all. And as we say that, we get a timeout. See, seems like a timeout that's not going to impact anybody. Not sure why it's being called. Maybe we'll get some kind of substitutions.
Yeah, these parents, they got to get to Original Pizza. After party spot.
Well, some of them already went and are keeping the seats warm at Original Pizza, making sure that everybody's aware the after party's headed over shortly.
And a big shout out to Newport Harbor Football Booster Club President Jason Levin. Does a great job helping to run this program. As we heard PA announcer Greg Kennedy, shout out to him, by the way. One of the voices of the Sailors. And Kira Kirby, his spotter. We heard him giving credit to Dr. Sean Bolton, athletic director Jerry Murray, and of course the assistant principals, Mr. Cusick, Mr. Pembroke. There might be some other ones I'm missing, but really it takes an army to put on these home game productions, and we thank them. Handoff to Irving again, cuts it back, and is tackled across the 20-yard line. First down, Sailors.
And that first down allows the Sailors to take a knee 3 times, and that's the end of the game.
What a night for Peyton Irving. He got things started with a touchdown catch, his first touchdown catch of the season in the first. And then he struck Pater 2 more times on a 7-yarder and a 20-yarder, 3 touchdowns, way over 200 all-purpose yards for the junior back. Another solid running back in the Sailors' backfield, replacing Justin McCoy and filling his shoes pretty well this season. 1 minute to play.
Harbor letting the clock get all the way down.
Irving, again, breaking tackles, trying to get in the end zone for the 4th time. He's tackled at the 11-yard line, but
if they hand the ball to Irving 2 more times, he might get in the end zone.
Henry Eddy on the tackle for the Oilers. Strength and conditioning coach Eddie Steele looking absolutely jacked on the sideline.
I'm sure he's headed to get his second lift of the day in.
Second lift of the night.
After this.
I bet he lifted pregame. He's probably going to get a pump postgame. Guarantee he hit spin class this morning, and then probably had a heavy lifting session around lunchtime.
Oh, he's definitely getting a pump postgame.
Oh, for sure.
45-27, the Sailors. This is what we expected to see.
This is what we expected to see, Howard, back on August 20th when the season started against Yorba Linda, finally.
But then we didn't know what to expect after that. We had no idea who the Sailors were. They hadn't showed us anything. Now 2 weeks in a row, they put up almost 100 points.
Final
combined.
score, 45-27. Yeah, 100 points, almost 6 points under 100, 94. Mr. Clay, I swear I paid attention in your math class here. 94 points over the last 2 games. And Howard, in the previous 2 games before that, the Sailors had 94 scored against them. What a crazy swing.
So you understand why we say we don't know who the heck this Sailors team was. 2 weeks in a row, they've showed us that they're legit, or they seem like they can be headed towards being legit. Well, next week against Corona Del Mar, we'll really find out what is this team made of. It would be a humongous victory.
Whoa.
If they can win Battle of the Bay and catapult themselves into the number 3 team in the Sunset League and as a playoff team.
Don't do it, Howard. Don't get me excited like that. I can't wait. 1 week from now, Battle of the Bay going down right here at Davidson Field. Final home game of the season for the Sailors. 45-27. Peyton Irving, 163 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 71 receiving yards. And another TD through the air, stats courtesy of the Daily Pilot's Andrew Turner. What a performance by Peyton Irving. Best game of the season for the Sailors. And they roll in to Battle of the Bay with about as much momentum as they could have had given the way this season was going. Newport Harbor, they pick up win number 3 and move to 3-8. And the Oilers drop to 4-4. Final, once again, from Davidson. In the 91st meeting of these 2 teams, Newport Harbor 45, Huntington Beach 27. For the TarTV crew here, headed by Mr. John Hoist, for Principal Dr. Sean Bolton and Athletic Director Jerry Murray, for the Newport Harbor players, parents, coaches, staff, and for all the alumni coming back here on the 91st anniversary of the school. And, of course, for my broadcast partner, Howard Kroom, this is Alex Crawford saying, from Davidson Field to the Bell Tower, from the senior lot to the pool deck, you've been watching Newport Harbor Sailors football on TarTV. Go Sailors.